Welcome in, everyone. Welcome into the stream. I hate it when YouTube does this. Welcome into the show, episode 73 of the Defend the Indefensible. I hope you guys are having a fantastic Saturday. Since we already have two guests up in the box, I won't do the full intro. I'm just going to go ahead and get down to the bizwax. We have Randy up on the panel. Randy, did you vote for Trump?
No,
Oh, okay, cool.
I'm just.
Trump supporters request up in the box you the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen 737-295-5321. Mango, did you vote for Trump?
Yes, I did.
Hi, Janelle. And do you regret your vote?
No, I don't.
Why is that?
So I voted. I guess my biggest issue would be taxes. The tax policy between Trump and Kamala were completely different. I supported Trump's way more than I did Kamala. So the one big beautiful bill, the extension of the TCJA and the other standard tax deduction increases, all the deductions I really liked. But also one thing that I noticed from Kamala Harris that made very little sense to me is she wanted to impose a 25% unrealized gains tax, which I thought would be devastating to the economy.
No. In regards to the tax cuts of the TCJA, Kamala Harris's tax plan was actually the same in regards to maintaining those tax cuts. What exactly is your issue with the 25% unrealized capital gains tax?
Okay, so well, it should be. Are you saying it should be extending the TCJA tax cuts just for clarification?
Yes, the tax plan was not
Okay,
going to do away with those tax cuts.
so that was a good bill, right? It was a good piece of legislation.
It was fine.
Okay, so Trump passes good legislation. That only furthers my point on why we should support Trump. Getting bipartisan support from Kamala Harris. Now, why does unrealized
No,
gains
I said
tax
it
not
was
work?
fine. I actually don't think it's a
Yeah.
good idea to carry on tax cuts with a country, or tax cuts so aggressively with a country that's about $40 trillion in debt.
Okay, so you don't like Kamala Harris's tax policy either.
No, I think it could have been better. The most I can respect her
Okay,
policy, moreover, is because of the corporate gain, not the corporate gains, the corporate tax rate being higher than Donald Trump's
all right, so
21%.
the unrealized gains tax is the biggest problem I have. We could disagree on why we should not have a federal government taxing the crap out of lower class citizens, but we could talk about unrealized gains taxes. So I'm aware, or I'm
Yeah,
sure
no
you're
one's
aware of what an
disagreeing with
unrealized gains
taxing the
tax
hell out of
is.
the lower and middle class. I just want those taxes to be more equitable and to ensure that the tax dollars that they're already taking from us are going to the appropriate places.
It has nothing to do with the tax cuts, though.
Well, it would.
No, it wouldn't. That's reallocation of funds and tax cuts are two separate issues.
I'm saying with cutting taxes for Americans, more and more taxes every 7 years is not helping with our economy as much, or at least not for the lower middle class as much as everyone says. I think we have enough tax cuts.
Okay, so are you aware of like what the brackets are and like how they've been changed?
Yes. What is your
So
issue with
are
the unrealized capital gains tax?
Okay, well, we'll talk about the unrealized gains tax. So, if let's just say Elon Musk's taxes or stocks went up in Tesla, like 100%, he had an incredible year. He'd be taxed 25% of that the gain. So he'd have to sell all of his shares to pay that taxes. Now, when that adds up over across all these billionaires and all these investors and all these people with this wealth, eventually what we'll see is the stock would just collapse. That'd
No, he
be
wouldn't
affecting
necessarily have to
practically
sell his
everybody.
shares to make those taxes. Also, I don't know why we're up here advocating for the likes of Elon Musk, the world's richest man. You literally made the basis of your argument initially was the tax cuts beneficial to the lower and middle class specifically, and now we're talking about the richest
Yeah.
man and how
So,
it affect his income.
ironically, you kind of cut me off there at the end. So I was going to explain how that would affect the middle and lower classes specifically. But how, and I'm kind of wondering, how would that be paid off? You said that he wouldn't be forced to sell his shares in his company. How is he going to pay the tax?
He can pay the tax with all the revenue that he brings in. What?
You know, that money, the money that he gets is through stocks. Like he's not getting any cash from his company. Like his salary is extremely low
The
if he even
unrealized
has
capital
one.
gains tax wasn't specifically on certain stocks. It was assets. We can talk about real estate and other things that was considered, and that was only if he had, which he most likely does. If he wasn't already paying what 80%, if he made over
What?
100 billion or more, or 100
Okay,
million or
so
more, excuse me.
Elon Musk effectively would be taxed on the real estate he owns, not the stocks that he owns, correct? Is that what you're saying Kamala Harris's policy was?
Yeah, the assets weren't specifically on stocks.
But are stocks not considered assets?
Not the assets that would have been taxed on their unrealized capital gains. You did you read up
Are you
on
sure?
what it would be on?
Okay, I'm pretty sure that taxing, if you're only taxing real estate and assets like that, you're not really bringing in that much revenue. Like what is the actual plan here? You're only taxing assets and real estate and things like that. Elon Musk has very little. I
If
mean,
eighty
if your
percent of
entire
it,
campaign is taxing the
or if
rich,
80%
but
or
you're not
more
even
wasn't
taxing the rich,
on
what are you even
taxable
achieving?
income, you have to be already being 25%. It's been so long since I've read
Tax
up on this thing.
taxable income? Yeah, wait, we already discussed Elon Musk doesn't have an income.
Elon Musk doesn't have an income.
What is his income?
What is his income? What the world's richest man doesn't make any money? Is that what you're telling me?
Oh, okay. I think we're gonna have to go through a very basic finance class real quick. So,
Sure.
do you know how Elon Musk is the richest man in the world?
Because of all of his assets in parts. It's not just solely based off of profit. I understand that much.
It's stocks, right? But do you know what an income is?
Yes, I know what income
What is an
is.
income?
Oh my fucking god. His ownership in his businesses, SpaceX,
No, that's not what
Tesla.
income is.
No, that's where you get some of it from.
Yeah, that's not income. Income would be like a salary he has from like being a CEO of Tesla or
Your
something.
stakes could also be a portion of your income.
Yeah, being I guess giving stocks could be it's kind of like, how you sometimes can get paid by giving shares, like if you work at O'Reilly's or something, for example. But like that's a completely different thing. Elon Musk's income isn't through stocks. It's he owns a company. The value of the company goes up. That's how he has hundreds of billions of dollars. Not that he has hundreds of billions of dollars worth of cash. So what you're effectively saying is that Elon Musk is going to have to sell his assets to pay the stock. Like that's literally the only option. You realize that, right?
Okay. Say you're correct. Why would I care?
Because if you mass sell all your shares and you have a bunch of people doing that all at the same time, how does that affect the market?
Corporations could respond aggressively, and you're saying that's going to negatively impact the market, which would also include the lower and middle class.
Corporations would act aggressively. What are you talking about? No,
Yeah,
if a
you piss off the
bunch of people
corporation.
mass sell a specific product, right? Let's say, I guess real estate. People have to sell real estate. What happens to the price?
What happens to the prize? The prize being their real estate? What do you mean by
Price.
prize?
The price? Not,
The
nobody's
price
talking
of
about
what
like a
they're
price.
selling?
Yes, what happens when someone or a group of people mass sell a product? What happens to that price? What happens to that
It
economy?
drops.
It drops. If everyone sells their shares, sells their real estate, everything, let's just say it drops, right? Does that affect the market negatively or positively?
Depends.
If everyone's mass selling an asset or something that they own, everyone in the country or a large group of people,
It
it
could have a
depends
negative
on how they.
impact.
No,
You're
the economy
assuming
is
that
going to
they
go
all would
down
sell,
regardless. Like
and
there's no
you're assuming
negotiation
that they
here.
would all be doing it en masse.
Yes, if you're paying a tax, then yes, a 25% unrealized gains tax, which assuming it's not on
Which would
stocks,
only specifically go after, I believe, 10 to 12,000 households that would pass that threshold. It would be a tax
10,
on the individuals who would make buku amounts of money, and that money would be used for the average American. I don't know what your problem is.
if it's only affecting such a small portion, then how is that money going to be used effectively if it's not that much money?
What do you mean it's not that much money?
I mean, it's only affecting a
So now you're
very
saying it's
small
not
group
that
of
much
people.
money? So then why are you
No, that's
complaining
what
about
you're
the
saying.
tax? No, I'm
No,
saying it
no,
only
that's I'm
affects
going after
10
your.
to 12,000 households specifically. I wasn't
Wait,
about
are
the
you
little
saying
bit
that they
amounts
own
of
large
money.
amounts of
It's the little amounts
assets?
of people who would own said assets that would be
Oh,
above
okay.
that
So
taxable rate or
small
in
group
that
of
taxable
people,
rate.
but it's still a large amount of assets that are being taxed. So my argument still stands.
What
Mass
does that
assets are being
stand?
sold. The argument isn't that a bunch of people are going to lose money by having to sell their shares or whatever. My argument is that the value of the houses or the real estate will go down because there's mass selling in the market. It's pretty obvious what I mean, and it seems that you're kind of going around the point instead of addressing the fact that the market will go down if a bunch of people
I'm
mass
really
sell
not. Again, you're
their
assuming that they
assets.
would mass sell these assets because they would not be able to pay the taxes imposed under the unrealized capital gains tax.
Yes, that's how it works. You're gonna have to pay.
Can you give me
Like,
an
let's say we
example
have a.
of this happening with any other unrealized capital gains tax?
I mean, the only example we have in America is property, and it's pretty low. It's a state level, so it's completely different. It's not 25%.
Sure.
So
Give me
it's
an
a pretty
example
different.
anywhere. An example of an
we-
unrealized capital gains tax. You can go 5%, 10%, 25%,
Yeah, in
where what
Sweden,
you're
for
talking about
example,
took place.
what what happened in Sweden is it might have been
Thank you guys for the
Norway.
gifts. I
Is
appreciate you.
they implemented an unrealized gains tax, and then they saw a bunch of people leave the country because they're fleeing from this terrible piece of legislation, and they ended up having to reverse it. In fact, they ended up having to tax people for leaving the country so they could continue to tax the people. It was such a horrible piece of legislation, and that's why I don't want it to come to the United States of America.
Mm-hmm. Tax rates, same country. Like 10-year rule, individuals remain liable for 30% capital gains tax on shares and securities if sold within 10 years of leaving. A formal exit tax on unrealized capital gains has been under investigation, but it is not yet implemented. Form of an exit tax. I believe you're specifically talking about an exit tax.
Yeah, an exit tax.
This was
The
in
United States has one,
2017.
but
This is not quite what you are equating it in regards to the unrealized capital gains
n-
tax.
yes, I was giving you an example like you asked.
Well, this is an exact example of an unrealized capital gains tax. This is an exit tax solely.
Yeah, yes,
What
I
is the
explained it
unrealized
to you.
capital
They had
gains
to
tax?
implement that after the unrealized gains tax that they had.
Again, I'm not seeing anything about the unrealized capital gains tax. I will continue to search. There's an exit tax that I'm finding in 2017.
And by the way, what I'm reading actually does suggest that Kamala Harris's unrealized gains tax policy would impact stocks. It would affect stocks.
U.S. can be subject to a tax liability on capital gains from the disposal of shares and securities for a time period of 10 years commencing on the date they leave Sweden. The aforementioned time limit may be reduced in accordance with some double tax treaties. Capital gains are normally taxed at a 30% flat rate. Okay. What exactly is liable? If you're a former resident, realize capital gains individuals typically tax. Messages SK, tax on gains. Swedish government reviews the tax regime for individuals leaving the country. Blah, 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 blah. Currently remains the primary mechanism. Yeah, I don't see how they're being harmed by this.
It's like logical. Wait, you're saying, are we talking about Sweden or Norway? Was it Sweden that, or was it Norway? I forgot.
You mentioned Sweden. That's what I was looking up. Sweden.
Sweden. Okay, so yeah, effectively, if you have to implement an exit tax, right after, you see where I'm going. If you have to implement an exit tax right after implementing a policy, because plenty of people are leaving the country, especially people with wealth, like millionaires.
Yeah, you can keep
Or are you
saying
starting to
that.
see like
Again, I'm
having
unaware of
people like
Sweden's
that?
economic stability being completely upended by this tax. Do you have
Yeah,
any metrics for this being a negative on the state other than corporations and individuals with such wealth complaining? Because that's what
well,
I'm
yeah, the
finding.
GDP of Sweden
I'm seeing
isn't great,
individuals
but
criticizing it because of its impact on some of these individuals and the effects. But I have yet to find an overall negative on this.
so what are the effects then?
That's what I'm asking you. You
You
proposed
just
a
said
negative.
you saw the effects, so I'm just asking what are
No, I
those
didn't say I
effects?
saw the effects. I'm saying I have yet to see the negative effects.
Yeah, so when you have a bunch of people leaving the country, obviously it's not good. Do you think that if we have a bunch of people leaving our country, would that be a sign of a strong or weak economy?
We have a bunch of corporations leave the United States well under Donald Trump's first term after the TCJA passed because they still wanted more money. So I don't know what your
I
point is
never
there.
mentioned corporations. I'm talking about people.
Well, people and their businesses have a tendency to leave. I mean, most of the time, their businesses. Yes, I understand that.
Yes. So, like, let's say the United States has a mass exit of small businesses or business owners. Would that be a sign of a strong or weak economy?
Small business owners, people that would in no way, shape, or form make the amount of money or have the assets necessary for the unrealized capital gains to affect them. We're not we're
Yeah,
talking about.
I'm
Please
asking.
understand.
Oh
You
my gosh,
criticize
this
the
is.
unrealized capital gains tax, which only affects a very small percentage of Americans and their businesses. You and I, and middle class, are not going to be bothered by that tax. So I don't know why you just conflated those two
I
things.
think you're purposely trying to be
What
ignorant
am I
of what
being
I'm
ignorant
talking
about?
about.
What am I being
We're
ignorant
talking
about?
about. You asked a question. You asked, "How do we know Sweden's economy is suffering? What is your evidence of Sweden is suffering?" And I
Yeah.
mentioned that the fact that they had to implement an exit tax because people were leaving. And you're like,
This
how is that a
exit
bad
tax was a
thing?
part of this.
Yeah, so people leaving, mass exiting the
Hold on.
country, and
Let's
you
see.
said, how is that a bad
When
thing? How is
did
that bad for the economy? And I'm explaining it.
I didn't
If
tell you
massive
how
amounts
is
of
it bad
people
for the
leaving the
economy. I
country,
asked you to show me how many people left, and if you can reflect this
when,
in numbers, a negative impact on their economy. When did they? Let
how,
me see this here.
yes, how you're asking, how is people leaving our country a bad thing? I'm explaining it to
Oh
you. If a
my
bunch of
God.
people, like,
No,
for
I didn't
example,
ask for,
small
I didn't ask
business
for your
owners,
theory and your rhetoric. I asked you to show me,
you
A,
asked.
these people in masses leaving the country, and B, how it's had a negative impact on their economy. That's what I said.
Yeah, so I was answering your second question. Now, the Sweden GDP, Sweden population throughout the years, is that what you're asking?
Population? What?
Yeah,
God bless
Only
people
you.
leaving the
population that would be
country.
matter in regards to the people who have this amount of wealth that would have been taxed under this plan. Why would I be asking about the overall population?
People leaving the country kind of affects the population, don't you think?
And I'm really curious, when did they implement this capital gains
My
tax?
goodness. Sometime was it in
Because the
what
most
was
I
the year?
found
I
that
forgot.
this was introduced in 2017, it was revisited in 2022, and not implemented. 2022
So then I was
investigation
speaking
officially
of
canceled in early 2023.
it was Norway then I was thinking of. I said it was either Sweden or Norway. It was
You
one of
said Sweden
those
or Norway. Okay, let's look at Norway.
Nordic countries.
Norway, unrealized capital gains tax. No anti gains, 1.1% annual wealth tax on net assets, and it's really 7.8% exit tax on unrealized gains above 3 million for individuals moving abroad. This is vastly different, but sure, it's unrealized capital gains tax, a lot smaller actually. Um, what exactly is the harm here? Let's see. I'm reading this on Reuters. Norway's lesson for Europe on wealth taxes. Let some millionaires go. I need numbers. I need data. I just need to see how this is bad. 722. I don't I'm sorry. I'm looking up here that they have a very strong labor party. They've had wealth taxes going all the way back to 1892. Yes, they've lost some business and some rich people, but then they're doing pretty good with their other areas. I don't know what the issue is specifically
Yeah,
because
it
it,
was it
it
was
sounds
strengthened.
like you
It was
just
either
don't want rich people to leave because they're offended by a wealth tax. I just want to see
well no.
metrics of how
So
this is a
uh,
harm
uh,
on the average
uh,
American.
I'll explain it to you. So it was in 2021, the tax was strengthened, and over 100 of Norway's like top taxpayers, representing 50% of the group's wealth, left the country to protect their business. In 2022 and 2023, over 500 individuals with assets over 10 million kroner left. I guess that's the currency they live or they use. And so like when you have a bunch of taxpayers leaving the country, is that good or bad? You're talking about the $40 trillion net or $40 trillion debt that the United States has, and you talk about how the TCJ is bad because we need more revenue to pay off the tax. When you have taxpayers leaving the country, especially the top taxpayers, is that
Not
good
only
or
bad
bad?
because reduced tax revenue, or at least by the percentage, not the actual amount, but also because that money, the majority of those went to the top 1%. And then those corporations that you're talking about, you can't really use them as a great example of tax revenue they'd be paying, considering how many of them barely pay anything because of all the tax breaks.
Well, no. So I'm not talking about corporations specifically in Norway. I'm talking about the top 400 out of the top 400 taxpayers in Norway.
Yes.
Over 100 of them left.
Okay.
It represents 50% of the entire 400 taxpayers group wealth.
You said
So
100 of
yeah, when
400 left?
yes, and the top 100 had more wealth than I guess the rest. So
Okay. And has
yeah, when you have
Norway been suffering since?
they've had less tax revenue. Do you want the United States to have less tax revenue?
They've had less tax revenue from those percentages of people, sure, but I'm unaware of them falling into massive debt because of it.
Yeah, so Norway's already not a very big country, so it's not kind of comparable when it comes to handling the national debt like it would in the United States. But again, if you're so focused on the national debt, why would you be fine with the United States having less tax revenue.
First off, there's so many different ways we can tackle the national debt. But if we're talking about tax revenue specifically, this unrealized capital gains tax is different. People who would have left Norway because of what they've been taxed may not have had the same investments, the breaks, and access to partnerships and wealth that they would have in the United States because we are pretty much regulated off of uncapped capitalism here. I don't know. I don't think they're really two comparable things. We're the United States. We're the greatest country in the world. We house the majority of corporations and shareholders and all these different things. I don't know why you think that they're just going to mass exodus to other countries where they would not be able to pick up on the exact same things that they would here, even with this capital gains tax in play, unrealized capital gains tax in play.
It's self-explanatory. The
It's
taxes
not.
are, if yes, it is. If businesses and corporations are going to be losing tons of money, they're going to leave. Like,
Yeah,
what
I'm
what,
aware
what
of
don't
them
you want you
losing
understand about
money.
that?
Yes, that's how getting taxed more works.
Yes,
And then the
taxing this
lower
much,
middle class, which
25%
represent the
unrealized gains.
majority of Americans, we can get back to getting back to the middle class actually holding more stakes and running the country the way that they should versus what it was before these tax cuts.
Do you
Before
do you
Reagan,
think
trickle-down
do you think
economics has been well documented to be failing. I don't know why you have an issue with anything that tries to correct that mistake.
so? Yeah, do you? By the way, I want to go back to Kamala Harris, and it actually did affect stocks. So yeah, the unrealized gains taxes would obviously be affecting stocks. I don't really know
Let's
why I
see.
took your word for it. But if it does, which it does, it would just destroy the economy. It would destroy the Dow, it would destroy the S&P, it would destroy everyone's 401ks, all
Yeah,
these
you
people's
guys keep
retirement funds.
saying that.
It what don't you understand? I cannot believe that you have this large of a following, yet you don't know basic economics. If everyone's mass selling their shares to pay the tax, then obviously the stock market is going to go down. It's unbelievable that I
Yes.
have to explain
All
this
of
to
these
you.
theories and estimates that you're referencing, that's great. That's wonderful.
That's a theory that
Boom,
selling a
boom,
share
boom.
is going to cause the price to go down. That's a theory.
The price
What
to go
theory is that
down.
from?
The price. I'm sorry. I need you to substantiate how these impact on prices, which you're alleging it would have to be on mass. You're saying they would do it on mass. So they would do it on mass, and price would
Yeah.
go down. What happens to you and I?
Do you not have stocks?
Don't ask me what I
No,
have.
you don't.
What happens to you and I? I just need you to substantiate the negative for you and I.
I'm explaining it to you because I want to know more about you, so I can explain how it affects you
No, no, no,
directly.
no, 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 no,
You
no,
asked
no,
a
no.
question, and
Tell me how it
I'm
would
trying to
affect you
answer.
and I individually.
Okay, I don't know much
And
about
how,
you. It would
how
affect
much of
me.
Americans have
Affect
stock
me.
outside of 401k?
Wait, why are we excluding 401k?
I said outside of 401k because that's oftentimes through your job. Individuals actually going
Yeah,
into
that would affect
stocks
you
on
though.
their own. Yes, I'm
Would that
aware of
not
how
affect you though?
401k would be an
Okay, so then
impacted. I'm
no, I'm not
asking
going
you
to
to simply
exclude
tell
the
me to exclude that
401ks.
because the
I don't
majority of
know.
that comes through work.
Yeah, and exactly. And the value of the stocks are directly going to affect how much money you have when you retire.
Sure, it could have a
Is that true
temporary
or false?
impact.
Okay, so then why are we going to exclude 401ks?
Again, I was excluding it because of how a lot of it automatically comes through work. And some people still don't even know how 401k works outside of it just being a benefit that comes with their job. I was mostly talking
Okay,
about the
so
average American that goes into stocks and stocks purchases on their own. Because
but
vast
it
majority of us
is
don't really
that's
have money.
irrelevant though. That doesn't matter. It's still going to affect. You talk about how
Okay,
it
you
affects
can
the
fine.
American
You can
people.
include either or. Tell me the negative.
I would
Because
assume
I've already told you that
upwards
there
of
could
like
be a temporary
80%.
impact on your stockers that won't look good. Sure. Tell me what else? What else?
Gallup says it's around 62% of U.S. adults own stocks.
What?
You asked the percentage of adults, how many adults in the United States own stocks in the United States. Gallup News says 62%.
Okay. And the majority of that 62% is in what?
401ks, retirements, mutual funds, stuff like that.
Okay. Got you. I need you to tell me the negative, bro. Let's see. I'm doubling up on this. Harris plan minimum tax 25%, traditional income, unrealized capital gains, tax for payers with more than 100 million in total wealth. Plans. This good for advance. It was 25% specifically. You had to have at least 25%. If you weren't already paying 25% in a taxable income, and you had more than 80% of it in those assets, then yes, you would benefit from those tax. You would negatively be impacted from those taxes. You guys always leave out the prerequisites in that, which I find interesting. Not that it matters to you, but whatever. So it would affect the stocks, which would affect some people's 401k, could be
Some
temporary.
people,
And then what about the long-term
tens of
effects?
millions of Americans. Some people.
Again, I'm talking about specifically stocks outside of basic ones in 401k, employment, and otherwise.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why are we only looking at them? It affects again all Americans with 401ks and savings and stuff like that. I'm just confused. Why do you want to exclude them so much?
You just say savings?
Yes, people that put their savings in like the Dow or whatever.
Oh, well, that would be a different kind of savings, wouldn't it?
What do you mean a different? Yeah, that's why I excluded that. That's why I didn't say 401ks. I guess why I said 401ks and people that put their money in the Dow Jones and the S&P and like whatever, any other index fund.
It can negatively impact the stock market. What is the point overall? How would this affect Americans long term outside of the, I guess, immediate impact that it could have on the market?
It's going to be long lasting. So everyone's retirement money, the money that they put in throughout the rest of their life, will go down. So they have less money for retirement. Let's say like I have an emergency fund that I put in like the S&P 500. It's going to go down. So I have less money as an emergency fund. I have less money overall, and the average American does, because I already told you 62%, which is well over average. The American is going to lose money. So you want to implement an unrealized gains tax for the greater good to help the American people, to help the poor and the middle class. But what you're doing is just lowering their net worth. What you're doing is just taking away their money. And what you're also doing, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, but when you have an unrealized gains tax, corporations don't want to invest in the United States anymore. There's going to be less investors, so there's less development, which means that our economy is going to suffer. There's less GDP growth.
Saying that, I find it so interesting how you guys keep alleging that with higher taxes we have less investment. Now, I would argue history has shown that not to be the case. While we've definitely seen more corporation investments under low taxes, it's because, yes, they seize on the opportunity to make more money. But even when we look at corporate tax rates before 2017, under Bush, under Obama, when it was 35%, we still saw record-breaking investments. He still had a strong economy with job growth and everything else. I don't. This is a lot of fear mongering, like a ton of fear mongering.
Yeah. It's just being just pointing out the obvious here, the bad piece of legislation. So when we talk about like tax rates, usually people mention like the 1950s. I would like to argue corporations probably did not pay that much of the taxes. We've actually seen like the tax revenue from like the federal government coming from corporations only increase.
Yes, tax revenue.
Like even with
the argument is
the tax revenue through corporations have increased.
They're making a lot more, so by default, yes, they would pay more.
Yes, they're making more, so they're paying more. So you continue to look at the federal government's revenue to pay off the 40 trillion national debt. If lowering the taxes actually brings in more revenue, what's the problem?
Lowering the taxes may bring in more revenue from these corporations, but then long term, especially when we talk about the wider conversation of lobbyists and corporate interests in our politics, not doing the right things for the American people, it is a net negative when corporations run the United States versus you and I and our votes. Also, that's
nothing to do with what we're talking about.
Break after break after break. So they're paying more into this regard, but they still have 1,000,001 tax breaks as we're slashing other benefits for Americans as well. Or better yet, looking to cut things like SNAP and Medicaid and depleting Social Security while these people sit fat and well off in their penthouses and goddamn everywhere. I don't know. Like, I just find it interesting how much of you guys' positions is rooted in helping corporations because you ultimately believe it's going to trickle down to us. I think we have a very long history of documentation showing that we are not better off with the corporations in power the way that they are. W's in the chat to Erica for the $15 Venmo. Let's get the likes up to 100K. Knock out the gift goals on the tube. Make sure you are subscribing and liking the stream. Check out the links in the bio, including hectorshops.com with 2 R's. Keep doing all the good things. I owe Erica 10 for that. I sure don't. W's in the chat to you guys. W's in the chat to you. Thank you for your support. Make sure you continue to double tap the screen. Let's get the likes up to 100K. Share out the live with your friends and family. Repost, add to your story. Send your daily heartbeats if you haven't already. And you guys know what to do on the rest of the gifts. Thank you guys for knocking out that gift goal. I'm going to go ahead and reset it. Back to you. You think an unrealized capital gains tax would have affected the rich people, which would have impacted everyone's taxes because of how they would have responded? I'm here to tell you that I believe that instance that you're referencing would have been maybe short term in terms of immediate impact. We can see that through several other pieces of legislation immediately in regards to their response, but it's still the United States. Most of those corporations stay here for a reason. If they choose to flee, then sure, they can enjoy Russia, they can enjoy China. I don't know what else to tell you. I think the United States would be doing just fine.
You keep saying it's short term. Are these taxes not annual?
Yes, these taxes would be annual. I'm saying in
Okay,
terms
so
of
how
the
is that short
just, I'm
term?
not saying that the tax is short term. I'm referencing that the response to it could be short term. There's going to be immediate impact where stocks will not look good. That's what I'm saying.
Okay, so like every year, let's say tax day comes around, Elon Musk comes in, he has to sell his shares to pay the tax. That's every single year. He has to sell even more of his shares to pay the tax. Eventually, what you'll see is people are just going to lose their company. No, it's not going to be a short term effect. It's going to be an annual
You
thing
think
where
Elon Musk is
corporations,
going to lose Tesla and SpaceX
yes,
with a
if you continue to tax
25%
him,
unrealized
yes,
capital
if you
gains
continue to
tax?
tax his shares over and over and over and over and over, eventually he's not going to have very large share in that company.
How
Can
old are you,
you
dude?
create a critique? Yeah, I'm 20 years old. No, actually critique my point.
I think that is an allegation made and it's substantiated by nothing.
I
I
made a
don't think
very
we have a
logical point,
single
and you're
piece of
just not
evidence
going to
anywhere
address it.
else. You'd also be completely ignoring all the other tax breaks that they would keep in play. Or better yet, I would still even say the loopholes in that unrealized capital gains tax if it wasn't over a certain threshold.
Okay,
And for the
if there's
rest of it,
loopholes in it, then why would we want to pass it?
again, it's better than what we have currently.
No, no, it's not. If
Kamala
there's just
Harris is,
loopholes
I
and
believe, was
billionaires are going to continue to
28,
not pay taxes, there's no difference.
29% corporate. No, 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 no. The loopholes doesn't negate the fact that you would pay taxes. It was just reduce the amount. They would give you breaks for your participation in the American tax system.
Okay, so effectively, what you're going to say is that the loopholes are still going to be in effect even under Kamala Harris's plan. But for some reason, you should
Yes,
still
the
vote
tax
for her
plan
plan.
isn't perfect. Ultimately, none of this is really going to do what I guess more progressive people want it to do. We have some forms of progressive tax system. We just want it to be more aggressive.
So, like, what specific loopholes are billionaires using?
Specific loopholes, we can talk about the gold loophole, where you only pay taxes after you get a certain amount of. No, excuse me. You get a gold tax break based off of a first million or couple million of taxes that you buy. You get a tax break from buying said gold. I don't know why people who are able to afford gold get a tax break because they can. That doesn't make any fucking sense to me. We can talk about things like in the TCJA specifically for married people when they have the joint. I'm not wording this one correctly. I believe it was doubled. It was 11 million for initially for like the marriage tax break. For there's a certain threshold that I'm missing here, and it was doubled to 22 million. There's tax breaks that we just don't need that ultimately serve the person, and I guess it's better than serving just the government. But we're doing this for corporations and the rich people that don't need them. I don't see why we keep giving them more and more and more and more and more breaks for being rich. I don't think anyone should get a break for being rich. You should get a break based off of what you're doing for the American economy, what you're doing for the employees that you have, better benefits, whether it's healthcare or anything else. In fact, Obama actually had a good idea for this. Hold on a second.
Call from
Barack Obama.
Obama actually proposed a 27% corporate tax rate from the 35% that we got. That one didn't go through, but the basis of the 27% is lowering it down to 8% if companies that participate in it ensure that they had better protections for their employees, such as wages, such as 401k protections, so on and so forth. It didn't pass, but those are tax breaks that I'm a fan of, specifically for corporations, specifically for the rich who employ people, whereas we give them breaks if you're doing what you need to do for Americans versus screwing them over when we have the federal minimum wage still at $7.25 an hour, and the likes of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, and the rest not being able to pay people a basic minimum, not minimum, livable wage.
Yeah, I asked for examples of loopholes. You mentioned the gold loophole.
Yes.
So yeah, did Kamala Harris ever like propose like to close that loophole?
No.
Okay,
Kamala
so
Harris's
then
tax
her
plan that was taken
policy.
on. Kamala Harris's tax plan that was taking on was Biden Harris backed. it still wasn't completely hers. She had 107 days. She was not able to completely draft up an entire plan that was solely for what her opinions were.
She was also vice president for 4 years. Like, what are
I
you
don't know what that
talking
has to
about?
do with. I don't know what that's to do
She
with
only had
anything.
she only had 100 days to create a policy. If she's the vice
107
president of the
days.
United States, an effective vice president would already be trying to pass legislation, or at least get the vice president, or get the
Can you tell
president,
me
or
how
get
the
someone in
vice president of
Congress.
the United States was able to pass any tax legislation when the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act under Donald Trump lasted for 7 years?
Yes, so I mean, you could still reallocate funds and you could still do some changes to taxes.
Yeah, you
But if
could.
you're vice
And that
president,
was
right?
actually done under the Biden-Harris administration.
Okay, so exactly. So Vice President Kamala Harris could have either told, hey Joe, let's do this, or gotten someone like I don't know, Hakeem Jeffries, and said, hey, let's try to pass a different tax bill since this one's so bad or whatever. But she was not an effective vice president at all.
Again, some provisions or workarounds that you can do, such as, let's say, Biden-Harris, when they implemented the tax specifically through the IRA that went after more tax revenue from millionaires. That is something, but you couldn't just straight up implement an entirely new tax thing based off the brackets that was already set in place by the TCJA.
I'm just trying to wrap my mind around how you're saying that Kamala Harris only had 107 days to write a piece, not even write a piece of legislation, just given a plan, a very basic plan of
Okay,
taxes
so
for the rest of
what?
Americans.
I have a question
But
for you then, because we know that the Biden admin did the 15% minimum corporate tax rate, because under the TCJA, what we saw is that many mega corporations didn't pay. How can I put this in the best way that it makes sense? They either paid little to zero in taxes. So we know that is a thing. You can't dispute it. You know that it happens. So Biden did the 15% minimum corporate tax rate, which I think is a good thing. All right. And they also included incentives within that, so they didn't have to pay the 15%. All right. If they actually had provisions in place for their employees and also investments within the United States of America to create jobs. Okay, so that's what they did under that one. Please tell us, what did Pence do to help Americans? What has Vance done so far to help Americans? Because the vice president is the one who handles legislation and whatnot. Please tell us.
So I don't like Mike Pence. I never claimed to.
I don't care
think he
who
was
you
just
like,
useless.
sir.
So I'm not
I
gonna.
don't care who you like. I'm asking you a question because you just asked, what did Kamala Harris do? What did Mike Pence do? And what has JD Vance done thus far?
Well, no, okay. Again, I'm not going to claim that Mike Pence was a good vice president. I don't know what he did. I was a kid when he
Why are
was
you
vice
asking
president,
of
but
Kamala Harris
I
then?
was.
Why are you
but
asking
because
that of Kamala Harris?
I was literally about to explain it to you, but you kind of just interrupted me. So
Now you just
basically, the
going
host
around the
said,
question,
"Oh my
so
goodness."
answer
I mean,
it.
you
So the host-
you're the one who proposed that Kamala Harris, or the vice president of the United States, would have had 4 years to draft up her own tax plan for a race that she never expected to run in 2024 because she had no way, shape, or form could have anticipated Joe Biden running off of being a one-term president, then walking it back, or B, dropping as suddenly as he did.
Well, obviously, Biden was going to be a one-term president. I think if Kamala Harris genuinely believed that President Joseph R. Biden could have made it a second term, she's ineligible to be president, because that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. She was around President Biden more than any of us, more than most people ever have, and yet she really thought that she would be running, or that Biden would be running again. No,
Well,
absolutely, obviously
I am
she
It's
won't
not
be
about
running
feeling
again.
that. It's not about feeling about running again. He did.
He did run again.
That's the point. And she
He
supported
President
the
Biden ran 2
president.
terms.
He ran for a second term before dropping out. That's what I'm saying. He
Yeah,
did.
yes,
run
obviously.
again.
It's because he couldn't last 2 terms. He couldn't make a second term.
It
And
does
Kamala
not
Harris should have
matter.
known
That's
that.
not the
that's
point of
There was
any of
nothing
this.
about
extremely
feelings.
subjective,
It's not
but
about
okay.
feelings. It's about
That's not
knowing
the
the
point.
fact.
First off,
That's
let
not
me
the
be
point of
clear.
any of this.
It's really not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. The
obvious.
point of this all is that you just put an expectation, a standard on Kamala Harris that you did not place on Mike Pence. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what you think about Mike Pence. All right. And the same goes for JD Vance. I don't care how old you are or how you feel about Vance. You place a standard on Kamala Harris that you do not place on Mike Pence nor on JD Vance. All
Sure, I'll
right.
place it on Mike Pence
So
too.
how
I
about
don't
you
care.
just
I
walk it
will.
back,
Sure.
and how about you not
No.
ask the question ever again? What was Kamala Harris's tax plan during the Biden administration? Like, what did she do? That wasn't her
That was a lot of
responsibility.
question.
That was absolutely.
I'm not
It's like that
I'm
was
not
ridiculous.
asking the vice president. Hold on. You realize I'm not saying the vice president should have actually just gone up and like passed legislation all by herself. Like, I'm not saying that she should have done this. She should have had at least a basic plan that worked out. Your
While
only
as
excuse
vice
for
president,
hold on, please.
while as vice president,
Yeah, dude, I
while
have
as
my own.
vice president,
Yes.
no,
I think any piece of
absolutely not,
oh
because
my
that
goodness.
wasn't her
Can I
job. That's
please
not
get a
her
sentence out?
responsibility. That's not her role.
Do I get a
Again,
sentence?
you are
When do I talk?
placing an undue standard on her for
Yes, if
no
JD
reason
Vance-
other than she was Joe Biden's vice president.
If
Or
JD
for no
Vance-
other reason than
please,
she's a
this is
woman.
getting
Because
ridiculous.
you don't place the same standard on Mike Pence, the preceding vice president, and you don't place it on the proceeding vice president, which is Vance. I
No,
need
if
you to
JD
understand
Vance-
exactly what
oh my
it is
gosh,
that you
please,
are
let me
actually
get a sentence
asking.
out. Yes, if JD
No,
Vance
because
ran,
you thought you was doing
oh my
something up here and
goodness,
you weren't.
I think you're trying not to let me speak because you know I'm about to dismantle your point.
You're not
If
about
JD
to dismantle anything.
if JD Vance ran as president this 2028, this next presidential race, and he didn't have a good plan, I would criticize it. Because
No. You're moving the goalpost now. You're actually moving the goalpost because
This has
what
been
it
my
is that
entire
you're doing
argument the
is
entire
you're
time.
changing the standard of what it is that you said. Your question to Hector simply was this: is what did Kamala Harris do as vice president when it came to
wasn't.
taxes? Yes, it was.
No,
Yes,
I never
yes, it was.
actually
That's
asked
what
that.
you
I
asked
never
him
asked
about.
that
Yes, yeah,
once.
hold on.
That's what you were asking
literally
about.
said. What you literally said was all these things could have been done under the Biden-Harris administration. That's when I responded with how the hell she was supposed to do that under the current tax plan that didn't expire until 2025. And then you said, oh, well, you could have done some workarounds, some provisions. And then I literally brought up the Biden tax or the 15% minimum corporation tax. Those are things you can do, but you can't just completely obstruct another tax plan from a previous president.
Yes, I think we're kind of missing
And
the
then
entire
everything
point.
else that would have been proposed, because I said this would have still had loopholes, and then you said, well, then it was a bad plan. And I said, no, it still would have been a better plan. That's how we got here.
No, if there's loopholes, it's not a better plan. It's the exact same thing. If there's just loopholes, I don't think you understand. I'm critiquing her plan.
No, because there would literally be degrees. There would literally be degrees of these things where we can still give them breaks, and there would still be loopholes overall in any tax plan. Because ultimately, let's keep it a fucking buck. None of these parties give a shit about actually revamping the tax system. There were still more breaks versus less breaks. And then these breaks would be better serving for this percentage of people, and then these breaks would be better serving for this percentage of people.
I think we're misunderstanding what tax loopholes are. Having like a deduction or something is not a tax loophole.
Are you
that's
saying,
completely different?
Okay, are you saying that the Biden corporate tax rate, the minimum corporate tax rate of 15%, did not close a tax loophole? Is that what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything about that. I didn't even mention that. I'm just saying that your idea of what loopholes aren't right.
Well,
are you listening to what I'm saying? I am. I'm literally talking.
You're not engaging in the
point. Can
point.
me and host
You
just have
haven't
a
been
conversation?
This whole time.
I don't think that you're ready to have a discussion yet.
You have not engaged in the point. You asked about tax loopholes, is what you asked about. You did two things. You asked, what did Kamala Harris do to close?
I never asked that.
Yes, you did.
I never asked that.
Yes, you did. You simply did. You may not think that you did because you can't remember what it is that you said, but that is what you said.
I really hope you end up posting this video.
You said,
summary.
What did she do to close corporate tax loopholes? All right. And that is why I joined, because everyone knows that the Biden admin did the 15% minimum corporate tax rate, which actually does close a loophole when it comes to corporations, because prior to, corporations could report their income with deductions, but Biden made it so that they had to report it prior to any deductions. So it only applied to companies that made $1 billion or more in profit. And prior to this loophole being closed, they could make that $1 billion and then do all of their deductions and write-offs and so on and so forth and report that lower number. All right.
They
I
also
didn't
But
realize how
Biden made
useless
it
that
so
bill
that they
was.
had to report the $1 billion in profit.
That
Right,
is so
before any
unbelievably
deductions.
minuscule. It's not even funny. But again, you interrupted me when I was trying to have a
minuscule
conversation.
when
Oh,
it
it's
affects the
minuscule? Hold
mega
on.
companies. What are
Yes.
we talking
Hold
about?
on. You're
Change it to
criticizing.
100?
You're criticizing it for being quote unquote minuscule when you're
Not even
ultimately in
criticizing
support
it.
of more and more tax breaks. You're literally in support of less taxes for everyone. But now you're criticizing this one for being minuscule. It's quite literally
I'm
further
saying-
than what you would have supported. That's a fucking weird criticism.
what
Friendly
are
reminder,
you
you
talking
also
about?
did bring this up. You literally did. Because you said you tried to criticize Kamala Harris and says, oh, well, if there's still going to be this loophole and this and that, then she could have done more in the 4 years because she was the vice president. That's when we followed up with A, it being Donald Trump's tax plan, and B, she had only 107 days to draft up something, which is why the majority
Yes,
of her
that
quote unquote
was-
tax plan was Biden
Oh my
proposed that
gosh.
she supported.
That was originally what I was like arguing about, is that you said she only had 100 days to write a plan, which, by the way, that's a lot of time. Like, that's not a small amount of time. That's a lot of time to write a plan.
107 days is enough
I
to
can
write
write-
your entirely own revamped, completely
Yeah,
different
I could write a tax planner right now. I can write a tax
I'm
planner
so
right
glad
now.
you can. I'm so glad you, random TikToker, can write up a tax plan right now and propose it. And it would be accepted by
Is it
entire
for
party
real?
with no contention or anything else. I am so glad you think that you are a tax extraordinaire to where you can do a better job of writing a tax plan in 107 days than anyone else.
Yes, I think I
Can
could.
someone
Kamala Harris
please
had
tell
no
me-
idea what she was
can
doing.
someone
Anybody,
please tell
hold
me,
on.
How long does it take to write up
Why
a
in
health
the-
plan, Dan? Because I would like to know, all right, where the hell is the Trump health plan at? Where's his health plan?
I don't
Where's
know.
that?
I mean, I've
Where's
seen that
at?
Trump.
Where's his
Yeah, I know,
plan to
because
bring
you
down
only
energy
I've seen that
focus on
Trump
prices?
one
isn't-
thing.
I've seen that Trump hasn't enforced executive orders that causes hospitals to release how much they're actually spending on the products that they're using. But again, I don't really know why you're bringing in irrelevant facts. We're talking
It's
about
not an irrelevant fact. It goes to the
Yes.
point that
Oh,
writing
let's talk about
policy
healthcare,
actually
okay?
takes time. Also, additionally,
Yes,
you have to
writing
take
policy
into
is
the account.
different than
I'm
writing a
tired of you
plan.
fucking interrupting.
you have not.
Shut up. I'm tired of you interrupting. One person at a time. There's people that use auditory devices. Of course you run. People use auditory devices
God
and
bless
closed
you.
captions.
Thank you, Vicky, for the star map, Polaris. I appreciate you guys. Make sure we take care of Erica while she's here.
Why are you running? Why are you running?
Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Thank you guys so much. Make sure you're double tapping the screen. We're about a couple minutes away from the hour mark. We should already be at 100,000 likes. Double tap that screen, show the algorithm that you want to be here. Oh, did this not work? That's weird. The phone line did something weird, but I just refreshed it to show it should be working now. Whoever just call back. Just call back. Anti-cases. I absolutely love when you guys do this. Corporations are going to do this and they're going to respond this way. It's going to harm everyone. I have no doubt in my mind that there would be a temporary impact on all stocks, including Americans that would have it in 401k or individually. 6,000%. That is expected. That is anticipated. Long-term gain, right? What's that thing they say? Short-term pain, long-term gain. I know you guys understand that concept because that's exactly how you're justifying the war in Iran. So just go ahead and do that. If we want to bring this country back to the time before the top 1% was absolutely stifling the lower and middle class, there's going to have to be some quote unquote short-term pain. And it in your stocks doesn't translate over to all the things that you mentioned. You started talking about savings and shit. You'd be talking about particular accounts that some Americans would have their money in, where there would be an annual increase or percentage. Anyway, W's in the chat to Melanie for the $5 Venmo. 107 days is plenty relative to a damn 20-year-old, so of course his immature brain would think it's plenty. I mean, there is that. W's in the chat to you, Melanie. W's in the chat to you. Anyone else wants to support the platform, you can check out the links in the bio, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, and send a super chat or a super sticker. Erica also has her links in the bio as well. No Cash App, so if you want to donate to her through that, you can send it to me. Just make sure you say it's for Erica, otherwise that shit is mine. Anti-cases. What's up, Erica?
No, I like he was annoying because I think I told you the other night, I can't stand when people do this thing where they focus on just one thing instead of looking at the bigger picture. And then what ends up happening is that so many points get missed. and they try to like rope us into these conversations about this very, very particular thing. And it's ridiculous because what they don't know is that no, they wouldn't have to sell off their stocks every single year because the plan that Kamala came up actually allowed them to pay it off over a 9-year period, right? And it was the difference. It was the difference that they would be able to pay it off over a 9-year period for the first year, and then over 5 years each year after that. Right? Is how they would be able to do it. So they wouldn't have to sell off all of their stocks or anything of that nature. Additionally, another thing, Hector, is that Kamala Harris wanted to establish the 25% effective tax rate for the billionaires, right? She wanted to establish that, and it would be the difference between what their actual effective tax rate was that they paid on their basically
Thank you,
realized
C-Spark.
income. All right. And then whatever the difference was between like the unrealized capital gains, they would pay that amount, but they would have the years to pay it. He didn't say that part.
Well, he didn't know anything about her plan. Notice, this is what happens every single time, guys. And I would highly implore you to look up the unrealized capital gains tax. Axios has a very great article that breaks it down. It talks about what exactly would be the assets to where you would be taxed on. It's not broad and wide as they all make it out to be. It talks about the fact that you had to have at least, if you weren't already paying 25% of your 25% in taxable income, then you were good. It talks about the fact that you had to have at least 80% or more in those assets to be able to get that tax. There were other prerequisites all the way down in the unrealized capital gains tax that would not make all of these people pay all this thing and sell off all their stocks and all this shit. Granted, doesn't matter what provision you give them, doesn't matter what caveat you give them, they just don't like the tax. They don't like the idea of the corporations paying it. And that's perfectly fine. In which case, I don't know what else to tell you other than the fact that you're a rich people dick sucker. I have nothing else.
Only about between 35 to 40% of Americans participate in the stock market outside of their 401ks. Nope, that is not the majority. It's not even a large amount. So with that being said, what? I just want you to make it make sense. Again, that's why when they do that minutia crap, I promise you, Hector, ask them to look at the bigger picture, and I bet they can't.
Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. I can at least appreciate it when they say, I don't care if the world burns so long as the economy looks good on paper. So, I mean, whatever. Basil, did you vote for Trump?
Yep.
And do you regret your vote?
I don't.
And why is that?
Because he's doing exactly what I anticipated he was going to do, and basically what he said he was going to do.
Fascinating.
And what I voted for.
W's in the chat to Stephelson for the $4.99 super chat. Trump is the most corrupt and incompetent president of all time. You know, it used to be Nixon, and then Trump came into play. And then people used to say Bush, and then Trump came into play. It's almost if the Republican president, it's almost if there is a Republican president competition for who could be the worst. I swear to God, no. Look, election after election, who could be the worst? Anyways, back to you, Basil. You said he's doing what you anticipated for him to do, and he's doing what he said he was going to do. Before I get into what he said he was going to do and all the failures in that regard, I want to know more so what you anticipated for him to do and how that's good.
So first of all, let me state that there's three different branches of government, right? So the executive branch, the legislative branch, and these are three distinctly different bodies of government that do distinctly different things.
Yeah, Schoolhouse Rock 101.
You get what I'm saying? So the executive... I don't have to
get what you're saying. I know what the three
so
branches
the
of government are and the differences.
The executive branch is headed by an executive, a chief executive. It's somebody they're actually doing business in CERN. You know, they carry out and execute policies and laws that are created in the legislative branch. The legislative branch, what they do is make laws. They do hearings, they do investigations, they debate points, and they come up with legislation. Being in the legislatures does not prepare you to be an executive. It's two different skills.
Drop some W's in the chat for Basil for this civic lesson. Drop those W's in the chat for Basil. Not him coming up here teaching us a civics lesson. Hector, did you know that? Did you know what the legislative branch did? Did you know?
Well, what? And you may be being facetious. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, if you've been in the legislature for 40 years or 20 years, it doesn't prepare you to be the president. Every Democratic president for the last, I don't know how long, they're coming from the Senate. They're coming from a legislative background. They have a law degree. They have legalese, but that doesn't qualify you to be the executive. It's two different skill sets.
What is a qualifying metric for someone who's running for the executive branch or president of the United States? What is a qualifying metric?
Yeah. So first of all, they're heads of states. So states are independent entities, sovereign entities that do commerce. They have business activities that they're doing with other states, other nations. That's why they're meeting with other leaders, discussing trade, discussing decorum, discussing different things. That
fast forward to the part where you just
that's what I'm saying. Also, economic development. You're creating an environment to where your country is an attractive place for people to invest in. You're creating more jobs for your people. You're creating
those would be aspects of it. Obviously, things you would run off of one. It's a winning strategy on the campaign trail. But friendly reminder that the government is the government, meant to protect the people, not a corporation where their baseline is profit. Their headline is profit. All they care about is profit.
It's not about
two
profit.
Different things. Okay, I need you to tell me, because you were saying that people who come from the legislative branch, or I guess you would extend that to the judicial branch, doesn't qualify them for the executive branch. That's what you specifically said. So I need you to tell me what is a factor that would qualify someone to run for president specifically. You're talking about states and this and that. Give me a specific factor and how Donald Trump, I guess, would qualify.
Yeah. So
because I believe you're going to go down the route of he's a businessman, which qualifies him in the executive branch, and that's a little
that does
bullshit.
True, because that's exactly the activities that an executive does. A CEO of a business.
Okay. Hold on.
Or a CEO.
You're comparing a corporation executive to the executive branch of the government. Those are different things.
No, they're not.
They may have some correlations, but those are different things. Because again, you would not run a corporation the way you'd run the government, nor would we want
because
that.
That's what I'm saying. You're trying to. It's not all the government. The legislative branch has a different part of the government. They don't. Like the executive branch does not do the same thing as the legislative branch.
No shit, Sherlock.
So why would you want somebody that's done legislation to run the country? There's two different skill sets. You've been a lawyer your whole life. All you do is debate, you hold cases, you investigate, and you create opinions. You don't actually do any transactions other than that's involved with legal stuff.
So,
yeah, we're talking about economics over here. We're not talking about the legal framework.
Economics has so many layers, nor is it the sole qualifying factor of someone who can run for president of the United States. That is a ridiculous statement. By that logic, every single person who is run for president and they didn't have a business degree or a business to follow up with that is unqualified to be president of the United States, and that's simply fucking crazy. Not to mention, we really don't need to talk about Donald Trump's not only leg up in his corporations, but also his failure, specifically with things where you have nothing, you could only go up in, such as the casinos that he bankrupted time and time again. Such as Trump cars and Trump board games and Trump water boats and Trump shoes and all this different stuff.
You have a
Trump University, thank you, which got sued to hell because it was fraudulent.
No, listen. Donald Trump is a commercial real estate developer. That's his primary business. He makes his money from real estate development. Okay? So if you know anything about that business model and how it works, you'll know Donald Trump is one of the most successful.
How do you make money with federal land?
How do you make money with federal land? You have to in real estate, you have to improve the property. You make money on the improved property of land. So you get rents
so
from
Trump being the real estate developer, he
Yes.
improves the federal land to sell it or to rent
Trump's
it.
a long-term
right?
holder. He's a long-term holder. He's part of the gentry. So they don't really flip property like that. They keep it because their money is based on the rents, long-term rental income, and appreciation of property.
Got you. So that would be investments into the United States.
Yes, because on the commercial side,
investing in the federal land
Exactly.
in America. So the more corporations that invest, the better it looks for him, right? Okay, cool.
Because
Great.
that's how you create jobs. Those are the people that are creating jobs. These corporations that come over here to set up their shops, they're creating jobs for the working class people.
Absolutely.
So the governments are investing into.
What jobs has Donald Trump created?
Man, he has,
because unemployment went up specifically for a particular demographic.
Listen, brother, we're talking about something. These things, economic development is a long-term game. It's a 20, 30-year framework that you have to put in place in order to see the results. So you won't know the results of what he's doing now to 10, 20 years from now. It may work, it may not work. We don't know, but we know the strategy. I understand what the strategy is and where he's trying to go with it. The plan is all laid out. But it's a framework. There's so many different things that could derail these things because they're consistent. There's things that the economy we may have another COVID-19 and everything shuts down.
And since you decided to do this thing in regards to devaluing the importance of the legislative branch, can you tell me how much of this investments and everything that he's doing has been put into law? Will be permanent or not upended by the next administration, specifically because it's been executive action.
Yeah, because no, they can't upend the law. He's not creating laws over here. He's creating economic business deals, trade deals, and things like that.
Trade deals can be trade deals that can be undone, that could be changed, specifically through like his tariff policies. Trade policy is garbage.
No, it's not. No, tariffs are tools of the economic system of a nation to protect this industry.
Yes, and his tariff policy has been a monumental failure, even including the Supreme Court to stop it under the IEPA.
No, I mean, yeah.
But he's been using tariffs as his trade policy, though. That's how he's been using it.
Yes, because we're trying to protect American industry.
But he's failed in doing so because he hasn't actually had any successful deals. Like he promised 90 deals in 90 days. How many deals did he get? That's your first question. Make a note of it. All right. Also, please do answer this one. Has the Supreme Court and the International Trade Court both determined that his tariffs are unconstitutional?
So the Supreme Court ruled that the way that he did certain tariffs were unconstitutional, and they changed them. He changed that because the court said so. The internet.
He didn't change anything. He was stopped by SCOTUS from doing it, and then he implemented another tariff, a flat 15%. It went up to 15%. He proposed 25%.
Yeah.
And then we just had the International Trade Court rule last week. 2-1 that tariff is also unconstitutional. The basis
they can't tell us that.
Is unconstitutional.
No international court can tell us what's constitutional. Those are international bodies that don't govern the United States of America.
Actually, that's not true. Can you please stop, Basil? Stop.
Yeah.
You are spreading so much misinformation because you are just simply ill-informed. Okay? The International Trade Court, all right, is not actually international. It's a part of the federal courts in the United States of America. All right. This court was actually established by Article 3 of our Constitution. All right. So it is a federal court is what it is. I need you to understand that. All right. And they did, in fact, rule that the Trump administration, that the tariffs that they imposed, the 10% tariff under Section 122, all right, were in fact unconstitutional. And it's because the Trump administration has misinterpreted what a balanced deficit actually is. A trade deficit is not a balanced deficit. A balanced deficit would be a country who owes us money, all right, and they have failed to pay the interest on it, or they've missed payments, all right, so on and so forth. So anything that could be liquid, that's going to be a balanced deficit, not a trade deficit. It does not count. Okay. So Basil,
Yeah.
please,
Okay.
please. All right. Before you try to speak on these matters, sir, please just know what it is that you are speaking about, or you can even ask Hector or me for just a moment to look into it, so you can like curate at least a semi-informed opinion on it.
Yeah.
I just want to
So
point out the importances of the different branches and interpreting how they operate and who's in it. The International Trade Court, thank you so much, Erica, is a part of the judicial branch.
Okay.
The judicial branch would all support the Constitution, and what's unconstitutional is not good for America. The executive branch can challenge the judicial branch. They can challenge the legislative branch in law. That doesn't make them good. You're basing all this on like him having businesses and investments and all this different stuff, when his specific implementations of policies to get some of these things have been monumental failures so far. One of the big ones being tariffs. Also, none of his businesses are helping fix anything in the government. We have corporations and the government, two different goals. You can talk about the commerce and exchanges between states and all those different things, just so they don't have a debt and go negative in their budget. But those are still separate from how a corporation would run things, where the incentive is profit. W's in the chat to Melvin for the $5 super chat. Trump is so quote unquote good of a businessman, the NFL owners didn't let him in their club. Then he made a football league go belly up. Remember the USFL? I forgot about the USFL. God damn. W's in the chat to you, Melvin. Guys, best way to support the platform is going to be the links in the bio. And of course, check out the super chats or super stickers over on the YouTube side. Please, let's get Erica above 2,000 coins. Make sure we're taking care of Erica while she's here. Go ahead, Basil.
So we're looking at people that try to create businesses, entrepreneurs that fail and say they're unsuccessful and they're not.
Thank you for the follows.
That's not an accurate statement. When a lot of entrepreneurs
What's not accurate
go
statement?
bankrupt. That entrepreneurs fail a lot. There's a lot of times they go out on business ventures and fail. What I'm saying. So how do we say that Donald Trump's not a successful business person because he had businesses that have failed? At the end of the day, he's a billionaire. He's a billionaire.
Businesses that he's had that has failed. First and foremost, it's the business that he had that has failed. It's the fact that he has a few debts across the country in regards to paying Eugene Kell, in regards to paying the United States government, so on and so forth, to where we saw revealed in 2020 a lot of his successes because the man could not even adequately pay his damn taxes. And then he blamed the system for it. I was only ever able to do what the system allowed me to do. And then when you have a $400 million cushion to start with, then yeah, it's easy to have the flexibility as an entrepreneur to fail and fail and fail until something works and something lands. And then we can talk about the corruption and the allegations against him as to how he got things to open up, how he got things to take play, how he evaded this and did that. It's a lot easier to be a successful businessman when you're violating the law.
Well, let's talk about it. You see, in commercial real estate business, the level that he's playing at, everybody has money. $430 million is just the price of entry. If you don't have that kind of money and backing, you can't even.
Hold on. Friendly reminder: this is $400 million in what was it be? 70s, 80s. I'm just gonna say 60 to 80s roughly. Which
I'm sorry, y'all. He inherited his money from his dad in the 90s. His dad died in the 90s.
Thank you.
And prior to that, Donald Trump had already filed bankruptcy multiple times. He was literally on his last leg. That inheritance saved his butt, and even still, he was about to lose. Excuse me, 1 minute. Wow. Just adding on to what Hector said, bro. Come on. All right. And even still, he almost lost all of his inheritance by the time the apprentice came around, and that saved his behind. Seriously. Like, literally, this is like the only person in the history of history to ever like seriously fail upwards. He's not good at it. He's simply not good at it, especially when he equates the darn going American economy to a darn going casino. All right. Remember, he's filed bankruptcy on casinos 4 times.
Erica, the point I was making with the 400 million is that 400 million in the 90s, that was a very different number compared to what 400 million is worth now. Regardless, it's an uber amount of money for people like him.
That's a lot of money. I want people to stop acting like this is a little bit of money that people talking about. It is a lot of money. Like 1,000,000 seconds, right? 1,000,000 seconds, Hector, is like 12 days, right? Whereas 1,000,000,000 seconds, all right, how many years is that? Isn't it like 32 years? It's fucking crazy work. It's a lot. And y'all keep acting like it's not.
That's
It's
not
a
going
lot
to
of
help.
money.
That only helps you, but that doesn't make you a real estate developer just because you have the money to do it. You have to. It's a skill to do it. Is what I'm trying to get y'all to see. And everybody can't do it. You have to know how to do it.
Not everyone is saying that everyone knows how to do it, bro. It's just that Donald Trump just simply isn't good when it comes to the money aspect of it, though. It's not. He's also really bad at negotiations.
He's a billionaire. He's a billionaire. So how can you say he's not good at his business? He's a billionaire.
He's like good at lying and cheating, so I guess that makes you big. Okay. Here's something I wanted to say the other day, Hector, and I'll be quiet after this. I'm sorry, friend. But here's the thing, all right? Just because he lies and he cheats and he steals and, he gets a profit out of doing so, right? All right, doesn't mean that, and just because it's legal what it is that he's doing, doesn't mean that it's ethical. All right, this dude lacks ethics. All right, he's the president of the United States of America, right? And I don't know if y'all know, but in Palm Beach, they just decided to name their airport after him. I think y'all do know that, but did you also know that 6 weeks before they even passed it in the county to name the airport after him, that the Trump family organization had filed for the copyright and the licenses to sell merchandise and whatnot with the airport logo and the airport code and all of that stuff on it? Did y'all know that? Did y'all know that? That basically they given themselves license to actually sell merch outside of the airport where they get 100% of the profits from. That's insanity. He should not be able to do that. But what you're going to say in response to this, sir, is that, oh, well, it's in the family business name, so it's not him. It is him. He's literally making money. He's making money off of the American taxpayers at every chance he gets. There's no reason that a sitting president of the United States of America should have made $3 billion friggin' dollars, $3 billion within 14 months of being the darn going president. That's insane. Donald Trump has made more money as president than he's ever made in his entire life. Also, Donald Trump as president has made $3 billion more than all of the other 44 men who have sat in the Oval Office. That is not okay. He's the best businessman
that's ever been in there. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
He's not a fucking businessman. He's a con man, you numbskull. I'm sorry for calling you a numbskull, but come on.
Listen, friendly reminder that New York City ran him out because of his practices being so damn fraudulent. He then went over to Mar-a-Lago and did the same thing. Hence why he has the charges over there, where he inaccurately inflated the cost of his property so that he can get significant loans. That was literally the basis of the big charges in 2024. We can talk about the fact that he's well known for not paying his employees, the fact that he was frugal in certain regards. Like, complimenting someone's success based off them getting there for being a con man and a fraudster is not a flex. And now we have that man in the Oval Office utilizing the government, utilizing our politicians, an entire damn party to make himself more richer. And you think that's a good thing? Like, how does that impact you positively?
Because he's already got $10.5 trillion of investment from private companies and foreign investors to invest in the country.
Pledges, yes. Listen, Check this out. No, Spirit Airlines, guys. I'm not sure if you guys knew this. Spirit Airlines that just shut down. There's a website that you can go to where people have proposed that you and I put a pledge in. I think it has to be at least an average of $140, whatever. But they say you put in whatever. But you put a pledge in, and then we collectively buy Spirit Airlines and nationalize it. If you look at the pledges, last I looked at, it's $100 and something million. But it's just that, a pledge. A pledge. We don't know what is actually going to come to fruition. Pledges are cool. It shows some incentive for like people who are looking at the prospect, but it's not guaranteed. We have pledges every single year.
That's part of investment. It's a risk. There's risk of things not happening. So for us to sit here and judge commitments made by companies that say, "Hey, yeah, we're gonna build data centers over here. We're gonna spend $600 million or $600 billion to
We'd be
do stuff."
basing a lot of this off of his first term, though, and the millions of
no. This is
trillions
just
of pledges that were made that didn't go through. We can talk about
they're
Apple,
going
we can
through.
talk
A
about
lot of them
John
are going
Deere,
through.
so on and so forth.
A lot of them are going through right now. Those are active
no
deals.
one's doubting that these deals have gone through. Every single president has been able to get investments into the United States.
No, not at this level. Yeah, not at this
This
level.
levels of legend has been so far. And of course, there's one hell of an incentive under the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act 2.0, essentially, the big, beautiful bill.
Yeah, man, because we have to incentivize these companies to come here because they can go anywhere in the world. We're in a competition to get Apple can go to China, they can go to Europe, they can go anywhere in the world.
Call you on the line. Hold for a moment.
These companies are transnational. Oh, you want me to hold?
Not you, but hold on. W's in the chat to Rocky for the $5 super chat. He has no skill. He slaps his names on buildings. That's all he does. W's in the chat to you. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That's not true.
He's the vision behind some things, and he puts his name on it that makes him look good. A lot of Donald Trump's investments and whatnot is just based off of reputation. There's people who do not fucking like him, but they know he can help them make some money. W's in the chat to Rocky once again for the $5 super chat. He also couldn't afford his court fees. LOL said he had no money. He's billionaire on paper only until dummies like you let him con the USA. Doesn't he still owe that one damn... This man is running from that airline. You guys remember he was not paying his airline fees in 2024, landing in their damn base time and time again, and he had a fucking... bill. Wouldn't pay an airline. It was a couple $1 million. He couldn't afford to pay an airline to land his plane there. He hasn't paid E.G. Carroll a dime. We could talk about his other debts. So either he could afford and chose not to, or he just can't afford it at all.
Yeah, you don't think he can afford it?
No, I don't, actually. Or maybe he can now. Excuse me, correction. Maybe he couldn't in 2024. Maybe he couldn't in early 2025. I think that man can afford quite a bit now because he's weaponized the government.
Because he just weaponized the government, huh?
Yeah, this is well documented, actually.
Is it? By who?
Why? By who? By his pardons from some individuals, people who literally donated millions of dollars into his campaign. Next thing you know, I just was reading up on this today. What's the name of that one guy? His daughter paid a couple million into his campaign. Next thing you know, he goes and pardons the motherfucker for defrauding Americans. We can talk about the Bitcoin guy, something Zwing. We could talk about his family investments and contracts specifically with Eric Trump and the rest of them in military equipment and AI.
Yeah.
Literally enriches himself and his family.
We're doing a lot in we're doing a lot in AI. It's a lot of investment going into AI, man. So if you got a company, it's a lot of, if you can sub something or do something and create a small business and get in there, that's the way to go.
We're still waiting on those Patriot cell phones. That's correct. W's in the chat. Big W's in the chat to Securitron for the $40 Cash App. Split with Erica, please. All right. Erica, he called you out. He said, "All right." Y'all ain't shit for that. She does say all right a lot. She does say all right.
I did. Oh, you missed it last night, Hector. Real quick. I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Letty.
Last night. I was reading like the transcripts to voicemails, and one just kept like saying "all right" a lot after they said everything. I was like,
there.
"Oh wait, that sound like me." That sound like me.
I was there for that when I heard it. W's in the chat to you, Securitron. Big W's in the chat to you. I appreciate your support. Guys, anyone else would like to donate, you may hit up the links in the bio. Back to the guests. Also, we're arguing we're having this conversation once again from an economical perspective. You're talking about investments, you're talking about money and all these different things. And that's all cool and dandy. I think we presented that there's been a bunch of failures in that regard. You would then respond with, it's a long-term thing. Well, short-term, based off the immediate failures that we're seeing and the impacts that it's had on the economy, or the things he's been doing to even make some of this shit happen, such as justifying a war in Iran and now asking for a $1.5 trillion increase to the $500 billion increase to the already about $1 trillion budget for the Department of Defense. I don't see how any of this is a great thing in the slightest. And then we can talk about all the other costs of Donald Trump's policies, which no one seems to want to address today, in regards to civil rights, in regards to the weaponization of ICE, in regards to healthcare. Why is it that only money is a concerning factor for the rest of you, especially when we've seen under Democratic administrations, we've seen record investments, record job growth, so on and so forth. Trump did not have to be the one to do it, especially not as a convicted felon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Floor is yours.
Let me see where I want to start. The world is changing. You see, like, so this whole global economic system is changing. We've been under certain rules since after World War II. All these nations that are in the global economic system and we're sharing things with, there was a certain order, a liberal order led by the United States and its allies, which was trying to make every country in the world like us, a liberal democracy, and do free market, open borders, trade amongst each other based on this liberal order. The countries of the world, most of the nations now, especially third world and the Eastern Bloc, they no longer want to follow this world order. So they've agreed that they're going to break up this world order. Liberals, Democrats don't want this order to break up because it favors America and it favors Europe.
Are you under the belief that Donald Trump is not a globalist?
He's not a globalist. He's not a globalist. He's not a globalist. I say this: Have you ever did you read the National Security Strategy? Did you read the document that they put out on what they're trying to do, how they're trying to accomplish it, what means we have to use to accomplish it, and what are the outcomes? So he lays all of that out in a national strategy that you can go on the website and pull up whitehouse.gov and pull up the national strategy, and he tells you everybody he's targeting, why he's targeting them, what he's trying to get out of it, and what resources we're going to use as a country to try to get it done.
Yeah, hold please. Guys, been live for about an hour and a half. There's 572 people in here. We're not even at 100,000 likes. Where are my tappers at? If I can get you guys to use your fingers and double tap the hell out of that screen, let's get the heart bar full for a solid 15 to 30 to 60 seconds. We can easily get the likes up to over 150K, and we can do so within the next 10 to 15 minutes. Show the algorithm you want to be here. Engagement is super important. Also, send your daily heartbeats if you haven't already. If you can't, it's because you're not following me. Hit that follow button in the top left corner. We are live every Saturday after 3 p.m. CST and randomly throughout the week. Then send your daily heartbeats once a week. You get a couple cool stickers when you do. W's in the chat to Above Infinity for the $10 super chat. I see this moron shops at the other Jared for his platitudes and conspiracy theory bullshit. God damn, you guys are cold. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to Melvin for the $5 super chat. Oh boy. My only negative with Erica, she doesn't live in Ohio. Please relocate and run for our Senate seat. Erica for senator in 2032, and I'll design the swag. Erica for senator, bro. Erica for senator.
No, I never served in the military.
W's in the chat to the one mighty pen for the $5 super chat. What about the Trump mobile? You guys always wait till I'm reading shit. Hold on.
Call from
Joseph.
Joseph, you're on the line, but hold for a moment. We have someone else here. One mighty pen for the $5 super chat. What about the Trump mobile that people are still waiting to get? And now there's a disclaimer that doesn't guarantee you'll even receive the phone. I did see that. That's actually crazy. How are you not going to be able to afford Trump mobile? And you put out the damn plan to begin with. You've had 2 years and all these investments, but you still can't send people their damn phones. I don't know how that shit's gonna work. What the fuck is Patriot Service? What is that? Does it not work? It's phone service that only works in red states and in the United States. It doesn't work anywhere else. You have no international minutes because America first. I guess that's how Patriot Mobile works. W's in the chat to you. One more. W's in the chat to Jimmy for the $10 Venmo. Can you please give this man a map? He's so lost. Throw him a damn compass or something. That's diabolical, Jimmy. We gonna help him along. W's in the chat to you. Guys, anyone else wants to support the platform, links in the bio. Please, I want to make sure that Erica says a couple thank yous as well. Let's get her coins above 2K. Where is she at? She's not even at 2K. Make sure we get her coins above 2K. W's in the chat to Devin for the $5 super chat. I'd rather have Erica to move here to PA and replace Fetterman. I'd take anyone over fucking Fetterman at this point. W's in the chat to you, Devin. Okay, back to you. So
I would be better than Fetterman.
Yeah. I don't know what specific document you're referencing or whatever Trump alleges.
It's called the National Security Strategy.
National Security Strategy.
It came out. Yeah, the Trump administration put that out in January. They're telling you everybody what they're trying to do.
Yeah. So here's the thing. Donald Trump very much is a globalist. He ran off of America first, prioritizing us, doing everything to focus on here. And then he's doing horrible things here, first and foremost. But secondly, we saw across 2025, he went to Venezuela, talked about attacks on Cuba, threatened Denmark and Greenland. We went over
it's
to
in the strategy.
Now we're on this. It's in the strategy. It's in the strategy to go and fuck with everything else but the United States. It's one thing to get investments. It's one thing to keep our soft power and improve those relationships. But then he would have respected USAID. But instead, he had Elon Musk and the like go and cut it to hell. And now we don't even get intelligence from, say, a large portion of the EU. Then you went as far as to go threaten our position in NATO and quite literally make us less safe in a country where there's growing tensions between China and Russia and other places. He's been doing quite a bit overseas versus what he's actually doing here within the United States outside of for the rich and powerful. I really don't see how he's been different from the average Democrat.
We don't need NATO. Why do we need NATO? We're funding it. It's our soldiers that are going out.
Everyone's funding it.
No, they're not at the capacity we are. We're like funding 70%.
So by percentage, actually, that is incorrect. Of course, the United States being one of the biggest backers and being one of the founders, if we're looking at a pure dollar amount, yes, we put a large portion of it into there. But you look at the actual percentage, which we've seen improvements under Biden and well under Trump for these 32 other nations to put more into the defense budget and their spending. By the percentage amount, we actually don't put the most in.
Trump went and upped it. He made them up it even more because we're trying to withdraw from the middle. We don't need to be over there.
Yes, they started paying more when Donald Trump started threatening to leave it in his first term. And then under the Biden administration, by the end of it, we literally saw 23
it doesn't benefit us.
Out of 32 countries increasing their percentage over 3% because of the Biden-Harris administration. All of them have been pushing because of global tensions and whatnot to have these countries pay more into their defense budget.
Yeah, because
Donald Trump did it off of a lie, though.
They need the global economy more than we do. We don't necessarily need the global economy.
You don't think we need the global economy? We are a consumer nation, and you don't think we need a global economy?
We are a consumer nation now. Around about 2001 is when China actually took over the major manufacturing and production from the United States. We were the major producers of goods around the world. We sold most of the world everything that they had up until like 2000. So when we moved to a financial based model and moved away from a production based model, then now we're in debt because all we're doing is borrowing money because we're not bringing any tax revenue from anything globally. We're not bringing in anything from the global economy. We're spending money out there. We lost American jobs because we outsourced our jobs to other countries to help them industrialize. It put a strain on the middle class of American people because that's the policy of globalism. Everything that we built in the United States was built on nationalism. It was built on us looking after our employees, hiring our people, and making good quality material for the rest of the world to purchase. Everybody wanted to watch a Zenith TV. Everybody wanted to do what Americans did. All these countries wanted to be like us. Now we're outsourcing us to other countries, and China is profiting on us.
That is correct. And Donald Trump threatening our allyships for places that we get goods from for the revitalization, for the return of manufacturing en masse here in the United States. He's been challenging that at every turn. I also do want to remind everyone that you are correct. I'm aware of all of the manufacturing and the outsourcing that we started doing heavily in the early 2000s. I also want to remind everyone this isn't some part of some democratic globalist push because it was literally a Bush administration.
Bush a globalist. They're globalist.
Yeah.
Trump. This is why they're all attacking Trump. All of those previous administrations and all those factions are globalists. That's where the transnational capital relies on Wall Street. Wall Street is the transnational capital.
Globalism is simply just them doing their form of imperialism via the purse. That's all that it is. It's just them like making these trade deals, working together to go into different countries to basically take over and commodify these countries' resources, like what the U.S. and the UAE is doing right now in the Congo by buying up cobalt mines. All right, together. That's a form of globalism, right? All right, neo-colonialism, if you will, because that's all globalism is. And Donald Trump is that because look what he did to Venezuela. All right, and look what he's doing to Iran right now. All right, and he wants to do it with Cuba also. All right, you're gonna say that it's strategic so he can stop, our adversaries, China, Russia, and whatever. But bro, it's globalism.
No, we're caught up in the globalism now. So we have to get out of globalism.
It's not trying to get us out of it, though.
That's what they're saying. That is going to.
How?
Because the global order, like remember I was talking about the liberal order. The rules of this game, globalist game, are already set by this world order. Okay. So who's buying oil from who? Who's buying the grain? Who's doing the steel?
Is Shauna here? Hector, is Shauna here right now? She's not. Oh, okay. All right then, because I wanted her to know that I was serious when I say this to anybody. And you niggas is crazy, okay? Because like, come on, like I don't want to talk about the order or anything of that nature. Let's talk about what we know to be fact. And what we know to be fact is that they are in fact dealing in globalism right now, and that's why Donald Trump is doing all these things. Like he's selling you all this idea of isolationism and protectionism, but at the same time, he's participating in all the things that you all say are bad. He's participating in globalism, all right, because he uses sanctions to control other countries. All right, that's a form of globalism right there, because again, he uses American money to actually invest in other countries. That's a form of globalism.
Yes.
All right, so I really want you to understand what's happening here is that Donald Trump is doing that thing I say he always does. He's shaking your hand with the right and he's stabbing you in the back with the left.
So let me ask you this: have you,
yes, sir?
Yeah. Have you seen like what was it, Davos, the World Economic Forum, where all the leaders come together and they talk and discuss about these things? So, you know what I'm saying? Like Donald Trump had his speech. All these prime ministers, all these countries and their delegates, they come and you can watch it on TV. You can pull it up. This is what they're saying. I'm not saying anything that I didn't hear from that level. The things that we're talking about on our level, we're workers, man. We're the citizenry. But the people that make these decisions and why they make these decisions, they're on certain channels too. And that's who I'm listening to. I'm listening to them tell us.
I'm not disagreeing.
No,
not
just
Donald Trump is not the solution to this. In fact,
no,
quite
what I'm saying is
perpetuating the problem. Hold on one second.
No, what I'm saying, if you listen to what he's saying.
Hold on a second. But W's in the chat to above infinity for the $2 super chat. I have a feeling this black knees are ashy as fuck. You ain't damn. Hey, bro, you lotion your knees today? Asking for the chat. W's in the chat to above infinity for the $10 super chat. Does this more on both 1995 and the Negro Gingrich movement are dead? W's in the chat to the one mighty pen for the $5 super chat. Trump is so America first. All his products is made overseas. You know what? We need to have a serious conversation about someone who actually believes in America first, would also commit to that with his businesses and investments into how he makes his products. I want to let you guys know, you can go to Trump's website, his shop. We went over it the other day with the Trump Bibles, literally selling $100 and $1,000 signed Bibles, right? Go to his website. All those fucking Bibles are made in China. If you look up the what's what I'm looking for? The producer, the person who makes the Bibles before it comes to the United States to get the labels and stuff, and you see the actual cost of it, that shit's like $14 to $29. $14 to $29. And actually, 29 is pushing it. I'll get the specific number in a second. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to Vintage for the $2 Venmo. I'm so sick of hearing this about NATO. Remind him men and women of NATO nations fought and died for us in Afghanistan. And then Trump said, quote, stayed off the front lines, end quote. They stayed off the front lines, end quote. Insulting military members like he always does. Absolutely. W's in the chat to you. This idea that NATO is just null and void now is crazy, especially during a time like now with global tensions being
Go see what they
crazy.
say about it. Go see what they're saying about it. Go look at what the European Union and the leaders are saying about NATO.
What is your point?
These are the people that are in NATO. If they're saying NATO is breaking up, why? What makes you think it's not going to break up?
What is the cause for NATO breaking up that they're citing?
Because the
is
realignment.
Is America paying the most of it versus
no,
them?
no.
Is it that they're useless and in no way, shape, or form contribute to global peace?
Have they?
Yeah.
God bless you.
They have quite literally played a huge role in keeping Russia specifically in check.
They're at war with Russia right now.
What do you mean NATO's in war with Russia?
NATO's at war with Russia. Although Ukraine is not in NATO, who's backing it? Who's backing Ukraine? NATO
United
members.
States, or at least they were.
NATO
and
members.
Then they were able to get some, I believe they also have some other contributors and a couple
NATO members.
I'm sorry, you think that's bad?
No, so NATO is at war with Russia.
What do you mean
But okay, so but why do you try to
proxy
frame
war? It's
I'm
a proxy.
So sorry, it's not a proxy. But why do you try to frame like the EU stance on NATO as them not wanting to be in NATO?
Right.
Right? Because
what they want to do is they want to if it's going to exist, it's got to change its structure. Everybody's saying that, so they're in the process.
No, that's not true. You're
That's
not
what they're
reading
saying.
it right, bro.
Okay,
no.
I'm not reading it
Thank you, Jane.
Tell me how it reads.
I'm trying to tell you. The EU is actually basically making a contingency plan in the event that the United States pulls out of NATO, because they're still going to have to handle their defenses. All right. They're still going to have to do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they still have to protect themselves. So when you take out the largest military component from it, all right, then of course they're going to have to reorganize. So this is just a contingency plan. This is not them trying to revamp NATO or anything of that nature. This is them doing a fallback plan simply because of the fact that the United States of America, under the willy-nilly presidency and the ineptitude of Donald Trump, all right, is threatening to pull out of it. That's not like they have to do something, don't they?
Yeah, because
so it's not them trying to actually change it. They're just making a contingency plan.
If the United States pulls out of NATO, it completely changes. It's not the same organ. If we're not in the organization, it's not the same organization. The way it operates now, they can't operate NATO the way they operate it right now because nobody can replace what America does militarily.
They can. They would just have to increase their military production.
Right? And when is that? How long is that going to take to happen?
We don't know how long that's going to take. But what you're trying to do is you're trying to paint it differently. You're framing this as if they want a different NATO. That's different from them having to do something in the event the U.S. pulls out. Sorry, Hector.
Yeah, right. They don't want a different NATO.
And also, hold on. They're 2% and then above that they're paying into their own defense budget is just that, their own defense budget, and that's used collectively in NATO. If the U.S. dropped out, they have to raise that substantially, but it's their own money that they're contributing. Okay, so I need a metric. And some basis for you to say that Trump is doing great in the world right now. Because I really hate talking about Iran so much, but I just feel like when I went outside today and I saw gas prices in my local area being $4.29, and in other places I've seen $4.50, when I look at the $2 billion we're spending a day in a conflict that had no start specifically, no goal to start, and no end seemingly in sight. When I look at the best ceasefire that they've been able to get between Russia and Ukraine was over the weekend because they're both celebrating the actions of what took place in World War II. I don't really see this a great foreign policy position from the president. So I'm a little 489 in Wisconsin. Jesus Christ. Ugh. Anyway, I don't see how any of this is good. You can mention specific metrics or things that the Trump administration or some of it he even talks about that on a certain level are good, but his actual implementation or the fact that he walks a lot of it back is very different.
It's actually the best plan. It's the best thing to do. It's the most efficient thing to do in the attack of the problem. Was it more risky? Of course it was more risky. We knew it was going to cause the economic situation, because we knew we were going to end up cutting off at least 20% of the oil. We knew that was a possibility, and that was going to impact the global economy. We knew that, but we had been preparing ourselves in the United States.
No.
Man,
I'm sorry.
Why do you cut me? Okay.
Are you alleging? Are you alleging that Donald Trump knew that Iran would respond by going and taking control of the Strait of Hormuz? That Iran would respond by blowing up so many bases, which led to the first 6 U.S. troops dying. He knew all of this and made no effort to secure the strait along with our partners or other people that traded in between and get U.S. troops out of those bases that were blown up?
So this is chess, not checkers. Okay?
That sounds
Chess.
real chessy. I mean, checkers.
No, but here's the deal. When you make your first move in chess, what is your next move? What is your next move after your first move?
What do you mean is what your next move after your next move?
So you play, what is your next move?
Depends on what piece you're using.
It depends on what the opponent does. You can't decide a strategy until you figure out what they actually do. So there was several different. Listen, follow me. You don't know. Iran has several different options.
That's adapting. You would still have to have some basis of a plan, and a part of that plan, and part of anticipating the next person's move is having contingencies for it. Specifically in regards to his actions in Iran, you can do things to mitigate how they would respond, or better yet,
and he did
stop them from responding in the way that they did.
No, you can't stop them from responding in the way that they did.
With the Strait of Hormuz, yes, you could have.
No.
I in no way, shape, or form am some military expert that knows all this stuff. I'm just saying, my first thought, once they took the Strait of Hormuz, was, why wasn't that taken into consideration before the strike?
It was taken into consideration.
Where have you seen anyone in the Department of War, or Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, and otherwise, speak on the fact that they knew the Strait of Hormuz was going to be taken over by Iran? Because they quite frankly have been pretty pissy about it for some time and have been going back and forth on blockades and this and that.
What is the purpose of the blockade? Is the counter move to them doing a seize of the strait.
It literally took weeks before they even came up with that idea. I'm going back to the initial act.
No, it didn't.
It did.
No, it didn't.
I'm sorry. How long have we been in this war with Iran?
It took weeks to get all the ships there to block it up. You had to get them there. They wasn't sitting around.
I'm aware of the time you had to get them there. It did not take a month.
It didn't take a month. How long did Operation Epic Fury take? When we blew up their bases.
Oh, you mean when we obliterated their bases in that one night with the bunker busters? It wasn't their bases.
We took out their ships. We took out their airplanes.
Excuse me. You're lying.
I just got
I'm not lying.
You are lying because
I'm not lying. This is what they're saying. This is what the administration is.
Shushies, please. You are lying because Hector just got a flag. You're lying. Epic Fury was in June of 2025 when they dropped the 3 bunker busters on the nuclear facilities and told us that they obliterated them. And they lied. They lied. And you know how we know that they lied? Because they also told us that the one that we're doing right now, whatever this is called, all right, Hell Hath No Fear, whatever the fudge is called, all right, they told us is that because they still were building a nuclear weapon. How did they rebuild their nuclear program in a span of what, 6 to 7, 8 months? All right, when supposedly they've had nuclear weapons or have been very close to having nuclear weapons since 1995. Within a week, they'll have it in a year. How? How, Sway? Answer the question. 2025 was Midnight Hammer. I'm sorry, Basil. 2025 was Midnight Hammer.
God bless you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Epic.
Thank you, April.
So, what was your question?
I don't remember. How the hell are we bombing them right now? All right, when we supposedly destroyed their nuclear facilities in June of 2025.
That's what you said. No, they have material. They have enriched uranium. We want them to turn that over to us. If they're not interested in having a bomb, then they can. If they just want that nuclear, if they just want that for nuclear power to power the economy, then they can buy it somewhere else. They don't need that enriched uranium.
Wait.
That's 60%.
You're cooking these guys. Keep it up. You're cooking them. They're just absolutely lost.
We'll get to you in a second. No problem, buddy. We'll
Keep
get
cooking
to you in
them.
a second, buddy. Just zip it.
They're lost. They believe trans women are real women.
Yeah.
I've seen this.
I was about to turn to Donnie on this. I was about to turn to Donnie Thornburg in this mother effer.
How expected?
Bro.
The guy who thinks we're getting cooked, his best argument is trans women. Yeah. How great. Yeah.
No, but that's what I'm saying. That's the ask from the American side is, hey, no, turn over the enriched uranium. That's what we want out of the deal, and that'll ensure everybody that they at least will be 15 years away from a nuclear bomb if we get that uranium from them. We know that.
No one on this panel or this entire live is going to disagree with the fact that their levels of enriched uranium pose a threat to the United States if they choose to use it on us, which I would argue their history has shown that don't. But I digress. Donald Trump, friendly reminder based off what you just said, Donald Trump was literally dealing with them. They were negotiating a plan, a deal, even after the strikes over the summer on their 3 enrichment bases. We were dealing with them. We were trying to come to a solution. I'll never forget this because I remember the Thursday that it took place before the Saturday that we struck them, February 28th, where the Iranian officials came out of that meeting and they said that was one of the most productive meetings that we've had in a while, which leads me to believe either A, Donald Trump just went there and lied his fucking ass off or whatever, or B, they just didn't give a shit about what was discussed. Anyway, fast forward to Saturday night, early Saturday morning, 1 a.m. here in the United States, CST, we get the news. We just blew the hell out of Iran in the middle of a negotiation. Then we can talk about the going back on ceasefire after ceasefire after ceasefire after this deal, after this agreement. They have no reason to trust us. We're quite literally creating more terrorists. We killed their previous leader, and then the son came in, and he seems to be worse. If we want to talk about deal making and them giving up their 60% enriched uranium, then we could have started with that before we started with aggression, before we led with aggression, because that's exactly what the Obama administration did. And they were able to get the JCPOA. Now we're getting reports of another deal where the JCPOA is getting awfully, or looking awfully similar. The recent deal is looking awfully similar to the JCPOA. We could have avoided all of this. And it doesn't seem like he's playing chess at all, because based off of what you've said, he's been taking stupid action after stupid action. In fact, that's one of the craziest things I've ever heard. We do an action and we can only respond to what they do next. As if we can't anticipate what their actions could be, if we can't take certain security measures to ensure that they don't do this route or it's not as aggressive. I think that's a dangerous game to play on the world stage, where we're just going to do stuff and then we'll figure it out once they respond. That's insane.
That's basically how war works. They have to, it's moves and counter moves. And
when you're in it, he started this war.
No, this war has been going on. This is not a new war. This is not a war. This is a military operation.
We've been in a 47-year war with Iran.
Yes.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
With Iran. Yes.
Sir, this isn't Call of Duty or fucking Warzone or whatever it's called that y'all play these days. Anywho, You
What do y'all think
mentioned,
this is? What do y'all think this is?
excuse me, stop interrupting me. Thank you. So here's the thing, right? You mentioned the enriched uranium. They're getting rid of their enriched uranium. And then, in 15 years, for 15 years, they, could maybe start it back up again, whatever the heck it is that you said. You talked about it like a 15-year plan. The crazy thing about it is that there was once this guy, his name, what was his name? Oh, Barack Hussein Obama. Right. And in 2015, he actually worked with Iran and other countries to come up with a deal. All right. And this deal was absolutely amazing. You know what it did? It got it got Iran to get rid of 98% of their uranium, leaving enough in their stockpiles that they could use for nuclear power. Additionally, they also got Iran to take their enrichment from 20% at that time down to 3.67%. 3.67%. Again, enough for nuclear energy. They also got them to get rid of hundreds of centrifuges. Hundreds of them. All right? If not thousands. I can't recall the exact number. It was a fuck ton of centrifuges that they got rid of. All right. Additionally, this plan was set to sunset in 2030. 2030. It's 2026 right now, but for some reason or another, the deal was in place for only 2 years, and by all accounts, from the UN Regulatory Committee, the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, Iran was in guidelines and adhering to every single part of the JCPOA. But Donald Trump took the United States out of the JCPOA, taking away the only incentive that Iran had to stay within guidelines. Donald Trump put it back on them. Those were the sanctions. And he doubled the darn going sanctions, is what he did. All right. They no longer had any incentive to stay. Now, this week, we learned, right, that Donald Trump sent a one-page memo to the Iranian government with a plan that is looking real familiar to the JCPOA. I think that is wicked work, and y'all are trying to hail him as some friggin' great negotiator and all of that jazz when he fucking sucks at his job, because we should have never left the JCPOA to begin with, because if we didn't, we would not be here.
I voted for
Can
a
I
president
respond?
who would bring the United States back into a full circle. But yes, you may respond.
So first of all, Iran is the number one sponsor of international terror. All
Wrong.
of these
That'd be the United States of America.
listen to what I'm saying. The Houthis, Hamas, Al Qaeda, ISIS, all of these terrorist groups that are going
The
around.
Navy, the
Oh, shit. I had
Marines,
someone
the
on the
Army,
line
the Coast
for
Guard,
25 minutes.
Space Force.
So we shouldn't have a military.
The
We shouldn't- we
United
don't need a
States
military.
No one
government.
said
We don't
that.
need a military
It's
to
been
protect
utilized
us.
for imperialism. No one said that. It's just been utilized for a lot of things that have nothing to do with
I
keeping
agree
the
with
peace
that.
and protecting
I agree with
Americans.
that. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. But like I said, so if they're the number one funder of terror, they provide weapons for them, they train them, and they provide intelligence around the world to help out these terrorist groups. They've unalived thousands of Americans abroad. They've infiltrated into different societies and attacks on Israel and people like that. They're causing a lot of the trouble that's in the Middle East, right? And Iran is the number one sponsor of that, right? So that's the world.
Doing things in response to aggression, all right, is not wrong. You cannot punch someone in the face and then get upset with them when they slap you in yours. You can't do that.
and we've
It's
been
not about
punching
getting
the
upset.
hell out of them.
It
It's
is
not
about
about.
getting upset. You're
No, it's not.
blaming them for responding.
I'm
Is
not
what you're
blaming
doing.
them for
That
responding.
you're blaming the Houthis for responding to what's going on in Yemen. Is what you're doing. You're blaming Hamas
You're
for
putting word.
responding to
You're
what's going on in
mischaracterizing what I'm
Gaza.
saying.
All
No,
right,
I'm
you're
not saying.
blaming Hezbollah for
I'm not
responding to
blaming
what's
them.
going on in Lebanon. All
I'm
right, is
not
what
blaming them.
yeah, you are blaming
No, I'm
them.
not. What
Yeah,
I'm
you are.
what
All
I'm
right, and
saying
then Iran,
is it happening or is it not happening?
in
Are they
Iran, you're
are they
upset with
attacking?
them.
Are they
Excuse me,
attacking
one
people?
moment.
Yes or
You're
no?
upset with Iran. No, Iran is not attacking people. What are you talking about?
No, are terrorists attacking people and seeking to harm American citizens and the American government? Are they doing that?
In response to what?
Yes. In response to some shit we did in the
Thank you,
50s and
Chaos,
53.
because you are cherry picking right now is what you're
I'm
doing.
not cherry picking.
You
I'm
are
talking
cherry
about what,
picking. You're not taking into account
Erica,
the
can
things
I
that
just make
happened to them
it's
first.
not,
No,
you're
you
trying to
don't
make
get
it
to.
seem
You don't get to
I'm not
get
trying to
your
I'm not trying to
point is
blame them.
wrong.
I'm not trying to blame them and saying they're
You
doing
are.
anything wrong.
You
I'm not saying
are.
they're doing anything wrong.
Yeah, you are.
No, I'm not. What I'm saying
You, in
is
fact, are doing so.
Really quick.
So, with that being said, you don't get
did I
upset
say
with
hold on,
people
hold on,
for
hold on. No,
retaliating,
that's not.
for
Did
responding.
I say they were wrong and wrong for attacking America? Did I ever say that? Did I say that they were wrong for attacking America? No, I did not
You
say
don't have
that.
to say that they are wrong. It is the words in which you use. Because anyone would say that killing someone is wrong, would they not? Would they not say that that is wrong?
So if it's an
Okay, all
retaliation,
right.
is
So
it
yeah,
wrong?
let's not try to get off of the point
No, that's what
here.
I'm saying. So
The point is
is
that
killing wrong?
you're wrong.
Is it wrong?
You're wrong.
Is
But
killing
Swan
wrong?
is here. There's the implication that you're making here.
Also, no,
No,
killing
the
is an
implication
inherently
I'm
wrong.
making is this is what I'm trying to get at. At national security is the president's job. So if we have terrorist groups that are plotting and scheming to attack our land, part of national security is to address that. So if these terrorist groups are being funded by a regime that is helping them try to do their bidding, why not just cut off the head instead of trying to figure out where Hamas is and figure out who?
Osama bin Laden is dead. Osama bin Laden is dead. The Taliban still exists, doesn't it? Al Qaeda still exists, don't it?
Yeah.
And as many offshoots still exist, don't it? Like what you're saying don't make no sense whatsoever.
I was also just going to say
ourselves.
the last piece of aggression that Iran has posed against us would be the alleged threat against Donald Trump, the alleged assassination attempt that took place in 2024 per an Iranian official. That was the last time, and that was not the United States. Them niggas were beefing with Trump. Okay,
Is Israel our
before
ally?
then we had some of the attacks that took place in 2024 Yes, Israel is our ally.
Okay,
we see
so
how that's a
attack on Israel-
negative to the
attack on
United
Israel
States.
should be an attack
Oh
on
my God.
The alliance. That's how we roll.
W's in
you
the chat
attack
to
Israel, then
Melvin
we
for the
should be-
fight.
ain't
That's
that
a
how we
hilarious.
rolling?
That's a hilarious thing because then he only regards certain allies and the other ones he fucks off. I need to read these off and then I'm going to give it to Swan.
I'm talking about these
W's in the
terrorists.
chat to Melvin for the $5 super chat.
I'm
For
talking
the
about
love of
these groups
humanity
of
caller,
terrorists.
Please don't ever teach chess, let alone teach strategy. My kindergartners would checkmate you easily. Yeah, that was a really weird thing that he said earlier. W's in the chat to Jonna. Hi, Jonna. For the $10
It's
Venmo.
weird because y'all are thinking on a level.
W's in the chat to Jonna for the $10 Venmo. Biden signed the National Defense Authorization Act in 2024, which includes a provision requiring either a 2/3 Senate vote or an act of Congress to withdraw from NATO. Yeah, he'll never have the pull for it. W's in the chat to you, Jonna. W's in the chat to Vintage for the $1 Venmo. I've never seen someone with a more accurate bio. His says certified yapper. I did not even see that. Just yapping to say nothing at all. He must have a required word count to hit every day. Required word count is crazy. I'm curious of what that number would be. W's in the chat to you. W's in the chat to Jordan for the $10 Venmo. Basil is a bootlicking bastard. Gas is $5.60 here in parts of Vegas. Fucking A, Jordan. This is more than short-term pain. 6,000% America. Thank you so much, Nikki. W's in the chat to you guys. W's in the chat to the donos. Thank you so much for the super chats.
I got thank yous.
Got you. And then Swan.
Yes. Thank you very much, Jonna, for the 10. Jonna said, thanks for always educating people. I appreciate you so much. All right. Thank you, Jonna. I was going to say, I love you, but thank you so much, Jonna. I appreciate you, friend. And also shout out to Melanie. Thank you for the $50 dono. Melanie said, do you have a pretzel franchise? You got these MAGA working for you like crazy. They be working hard, don't they? Hard to defend these darn going talking points. Bro, like get some new cue cards, please, and some updated ones, because this is ridiculous. Drop some hearts in the chat. Y'all are freaking awesome. Hi, Swan.
Guys, how are you?
I'm here.
Hey, Swan.
So, Basil, I just want to read you something from Iran's letter that they wrote to the American people. On the first page, it says, the Iranian people harbor no enmity toward other nations, including the people of America, Europe, or neighboring countries, even in the face of repeated foreign interventions and pressures throughout their proud history. Iranians have consistently drawn a distinction between governments and the peoples they govern. This is a deeply rooted principle in Iranian culture and collective consciousness, not a temporary political stance. For this reason, portraying Iran as a threat is neither consistent with historical reality nor with present-day observable fact. Such a perception is the product of political and economic whims of the powerful. The need to manufacture an enemy in order to justify pressure, maintain military dominance, sustain the arms industry, and control strategic markets. And such an environment, if a threat does not exist, it is invented. So what they're explaining, right, is that they've never been like against the American people. I think people don't necessarily understand that there's a difference between like the state or like a government and its citizens, right? They've never been wanting to come for American citizens. What it is they're frustrated by all of the chaos that's been perpetuated onto them, that's been incited by the United States in West Asia, right? A lot of times, I think because people don't take into consideration that they may not know enough about geopolitics, even if they're taking in that information, if it's coming through the lens of America, then it's going to be inaccurate, right? So I think that that's the problem here. The reality is that if they were so dangerous, why would they not have done away with us after we hit their school? This is the wildest thing to me. Watching people in real time claim that this country is dangerous, whilst in real time, we have watched them defend themselves.
God bless you.
And not even defend themselves to the degree of truly harming the United
Thank you, Erica.
States. It's just self-defense so that they don't end up underwater, and that's it. If they were so dangerous, they would have done something catastrophic to us after we hit their school. Like, let's be for real.
I'll take it a step further. Friendly reminder, W Swan, friendly reminder that they've had 60% enriched uranium since 2021. We know that the steps to go from 0 to 60 is a lot more than go from 60 to 90. They could have had this bomb. They could have hit us already. They didn't. Now we're closer to it because these people don't know how to utilize diplomacy on the world stage because everything is bomb, bomb, bomb. I feel like y'all really should have got it the second Pete Hegseth came in and said, we're renaming the Department of Defense to the Department of War, which sends one hell of a message after you run off of no new wars.
Finish the last. Finish up what we were already in and get out of there. No new wars. Let's finish up.
You cannot consider the 47-year beef that we've had with Iran, or they more so had with us because of what we did from the 50s to 70s specifically. You cannot look at that as an ongoing, continuous war for the entire time. We struck them. We started this war as of 2025, the summer specifically. And they still didn't respond when we blew up their bases, when we took out some of their citizens. They just stopped complying even more with the IAEA.
Hector, check Discord. So, like, Basil, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing, because you keep talking about all of this foreign policy and all of this stuff, but what about what's happening right here in the United States of America? What about what's happening right here? All right, I want you to think about that. Do you know that this past week, right, the Trump administration, all right, via the USDA has made it so that all stores, whether it be a Walmart, a Target, or your local mom and pop general store or a bodega on the corner, so a corner store, right? They have made it so that all of them that accept SNAP benefits, so food stamps, have to have at least 7 products 7 different varieties, all right, from each of the 4 major food groups, all right? Mom and pop shops, general stores in places that are already food deserts. That means they don't have access, all right, to major grocery stores or even grocery stores in general, all right? They have to have 7 varieties, let's say, of fish, of chicken, of steak. Well, I should say beef. All right. They have to have different varieties of these things. All right. Different fruits and vegetables, things that are perishable, that can go bad, that already cost a lot of money, that people likely may not even purchase anyways. But guess what? If they don't do that, if they don't spend the money to do that, they won't be able to take SNAP benefits anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So the communities that they serve, all right, they already receive 20 to 60% of their revenue from SNAP recipients. All right. People swiping their EBT cards at these places. If they're not able to adhere to this guideline, they're not going to be able to accept that form of payment anymore. That means that they likely will go out of business. And then where are the people going to get their food from?
Can I respond?
You can respond. Sure.
We are the most unhealthy people of any first world nation. We have the highest rates of metabolic diseases. We are,
Why is that?
because of the things that are in the foods that we've been eating, that we've been buying from
Why
these
is a bag of Doritos? Why is a bag of Doritos more cheaper than a bag of salad mix?
Because it's heavily subsidized by the government, and all the fillers that they put in there make that shit really cheap. It's not food. Doritos is not food. It's a food.
Did you hear what I just
engineered.
said?
I don't think
Why is
Look.
a bag of Doritos
Yeah.
cheaper than a bag of salad mix?
Because
Bro,
it's
you're not
subsidized
listening.
by the government.
What's subsidized by the government, bro?
Those companies that make the Doritos.
What?
Yeah, the companies that make the Doritos, they're getting subsidies from government contracts to make the food cheaper. And then they use cheap ingredients to make Doritos.
Okay, but
so
would that
it
by
becomes-
default make our agriculture cheaper, like our produce cheaper, because our
No.
produce is being subsidized?
No, because our produce, we're in a global economy, so our produce is not necessarily made for us. It's made for the global economy. We got
That's not true.
No.
That's not true.
No.
Oh.
On the government,
Literally in California. Hey, in
Federal level.
California, 9 out of the 10 counties in California produce half of our fucking agriculture, half of our food, half of our produce. A shit ton of that comes in California. You can talk about specific things like soybeans and well, no, we export soybeans, not soybeans.
It's our corn.
Yes.
those are
Corn
commodities.
and wheat.
Those
Corn
are
and wheat.
commodities.
How the fuck is corn a commodity?
It's a commodity. This
We
trade.
know that. Time out one moment. We know that it's a commodity. However, it's also a
price is
domestic
impacted by
commodity
the
because
global.
we literally purchase the majority of those two things here within the United States of America.
But what I'm
So,
saying
like,
is
what are you
still
even talking
impacted
about?
because
And it is something that we do export because corn and wheat are legitimately like in everything that we darn go and eat. Also, soybeans play a bit factor also because we do export a large amount of our soybeans, but we also use a similar amount within the United States of America. Corn is in everything, bro. And our farming industry, period, is subsidized by the government. All right. So
it
if
makes
it's
it
subsidized,
cheaper.
hold on one moment. If it is subsidized by the government, right, then it should be cheaper. It is not. All right. So why is it that a bag of spinach costs more money than a bag of Doritos?
I paid $10
So
It does
for
not
peaches
make
the other
sense
day.
whatsoever.
What
It
is
doesn't
the
make sense. The problem that we
You're not
have
listening.
here.
You're not listening.
I am
That's why.
listening to you. You're not making any sense, bro.
Well, let me explain it to you, and it'll make sense.
No. You're doing a really bad job of explaining because you've already tried.
Quit cutting me off and let me explain it, and it'll
If
make
it was
sense.
subsidized, then it would literally cost less money. It would cost less money. You're not understanding what is being said.
What costs more?
The
A
salad,
bag of
our
chips?
farming industry is subsidized by the government. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
I
Our
know
farming
that.
industry is. They always get bailouts, especially under the Trump administrations. All right. And also the credits that they receive, the tax breaks that they receive, the deductions that they receive. All right. It's rare that a farmer pays full price for anything.
I really want
Can I? I
Swan
mean,
to
you,
finish
this
her point.
Erica.
After he
What
responds,
is
Swan has to
what is
finish
the
their
base?
point.
What is the base of a Dorito? What is a base of a Dorito?
It's corn, is it not?
It's corn.
Corn. I was typing in
It's
comments.
corn. Corn is highly subsidized in the United States, which is why a bag of Doritos would be cheaper than a salad because lettuce is not subsidized by the government.
You're talking about this. Okay, hold on. First and foremost, lettuce would be subsidized by the government. If we're talking about the farmers,
not to the
we're talking about
capacity.
the farmers, yes, we would have subsidies specifically in school. There are many school programs that will go to their local farmers to get produce, and we help subsidize those programs so that schools can go to their neighbors and their local farmers versus getting it in different places where they can get it cheaper. There's several ways that we literally subsidize our produce.
He's not paying attention though, Hector, because here, even what you just said, Hector, was true, but the Trump administration has cut over $1 billion from that particular program.
That is correct.
And what he doesn't seem to understand is that it is the corporations in which these farmers are selling their products to that are actually setting the prices here. All right. So Frito-Lay that makes Doritos, I believe it is Frito-Lay that makes Doritos. All right. They are setting the price for that bag of Doritos. All right. And then the grocery store in which they sell to, all right, can either decide to set the price, all right, exactly at what they bought it for, or they're going to do a markup. In most cases, they do a markup. So they're selling it for even more. All right. Additionally, another thing is that a bag of lettuce, all right, is you can buy a bag of lettuce straight from a farmer's market, all right, for $1. Yet when they sell it to the grocery stores or they sell it to these bigger companies, because we got a whole bunch of corporate farms buying up the little legacy farms at this time, just like we did in 2018 and 2019, is happening again. And they're selling it to the grocery stores at a markup, and then the grocery store is marking it up. It's all about greed. You literally just have to follow the darn going money here. It is all about greed. And it's easier to keep people sick and dependent upon the junk food than it is to actually provide them with healthier foods. It truly is. It's really that simple. It's not something that's complex. And what's going to end up happening with this new regulation that they put into place requiring that they carry 7 varieties of the 4 major food groups, all right, is that these mom and pop stores are going to close. The bodegas are going to close. The general stores are going to close. The people aren't going to have anywhere to go ahead and buy their food from. Then what do they do?
Is that
they're going to have to
requirement being
buy it from the
subsidized?
corporations. They're going to have
Erica?
to. They're forcing everybody to put fresh food in there. They're forcing everybody to do it because Americans
everyone's able
need
to
fresh
do
food.
that.
But Americans need safe
I'm
food.
aware of what we
don't
need,
that
but in
stuff.
order for some of these businesses, especially during these trying times right now, to survive, some of them cannot even afford to put those food on the table. Average Americans sometimes can't even afford to go to the store and buy all the things that they need. I have gut issues. There's specific things that I have to buy to ensure that my shit runs smoothly. And that shit is expensive for just me. I'm just a single person cooking for myself and the grocery bills are high. Fucking Harris just went over a story Thursday night, if I'm not mistaken, Erica. Shit, we gotta let Swan go. Where she was talking about a family of 4 had $150 a week budget, and she eats whatever the kids don't. Like, Swan, go ahead and finish up.
Poverty is bad. We need to address poverty. We need to address people that are in poverty that
John, you're
can't
on the line.
afford
Hold
those
on.
things.
Basil,
Yes.
I wanted to say something that's going to kind of bring it back to Iran, but I wanted to tell you that, like, have you ever heard of the Board of Peace? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So the Board of Peace was created by Trump, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there's countries that are permanent founders and countries that are just kind of there for whatever. They each paid $1 billion. The founding ones did. They paid $1 billion to be a part of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you watch their press conference that Trump had when he announced this, he literally said, "We are having discussions and talks with Iran.
Mm-hmm.
If they do not respond to us, the talks are going well. But if they don't respond to us and make a deal, then we're going to end up bad things will end up happening, right? I remember watching that, and then a couple of days later, we struck them, right? And the reason why was because the United States gave them 10 days to join. It wasn't even 10 days to let us know. It was 10 days to join. And Iran did not want to join. Here's the thing. The I state, I don't know if you guys can say it up here, but the I state, they're trying to, basically what they want to do is they just want to dominate, right? So they've purchased land in Kenya. They're trying to build a military base in Somaliland. They are in Angola attempting to, because they've helped with their infrastructure, a man named Haim Taib, who won a peace award there, right? He's trying to make it so that 1 in 5 children in Angola will be Israeli children, right? In addition to that, they're trying to build up and reconstruct Gaza. That's what the whole Board of Peace was about, that meeting. They played like a video of what their plans are going to be. Now, if you look at a map, right, Gaza is not too far away from Iran. I think what we're really like looking at here is not a dangerous country. It's us, right, being in a partnership with the I state, trying to figure out where we can dominate. That's literally been the name of the game from day one, especially for the United States, right? So they're less than 2,000 miles away from Gaza. I don't think that this is just not about them being a dangerous group of people at all in any way, shape, or form. Now, hypothetically, right? Let's say they did build the weapons. Who cares? There's never been any confirmation about us, right? About them threatening us. There's never been any confirmation of that. Never. Even if they did have a weapon, who cares? They never threatened to strike us with it. So I think the problem here is that, like, again, you're taking in a lot of propaganda. You're not doing research, or maybe if you are doing research, it's just not accurate sources that you're looking at. But I also think that in addition to to add on to what Erica and Hector were saying, like, we're doing all of this, right? But there's so many things wrong here in the United States. I'm pretty sure that 45% of the homeless population is employed. A lot of people probably don't know that. We have 2.2 million people here in the United States that don't have access to running water, not even dirty water. They don't have access to running water, right? So I think we're trying to just give you a realistic understanding of what's happening, right? And the truth about what's happening, because it seems like you've taken in a lot of propaganda or maybe have not done the right type of research. Does that make sense?
So this is where y'all are totally miscategorizing what I'm saying. And everything I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the people of Iran.
Oh my God, I'm like,
okay, I'm not talking about the citizens and the Persian people and the Kurds. I'm not talking about the people of Iran. They're being run by a rogue regime that took over that country in 1979.
God bless you.
Right?
Basil, real quick. Hold on, Basil. Listen. That is for them to deal with.
No.
It's not for, wait, just hear me out. Hear me out. That's for them to deal with. There's never been a time as to when the United States will make a claim about a regime being problematic, and then we go in, right? And we do a regime change, and then we build up their society. We build their society back up.
Thank you.
Correct.
What we end up doing is we destabilize their economy, we leave them in ruins, and then we end up leaving out of there. We get what we want, and that's that. Even if that was the case, Basil, that is for them to figure out. We have no right to step in and try to force a change because we don't necessarily know exactly what's going on there. It's just not our job. It's not our responsibility. It doesn't warrant, right, us doing what we did.
So
I think a great example is what happened in Ukraine. To be honest with you, we didn't send troops on the ground. We didn't go start all the shit with Russia. There's different reasons why we didn't do that. But we did send them aid and support. We gave them or helped them with some of the tools so they can fight their own battles. I think that's a part of being America first. It's not losing your soul. It's not losing empathy. But it's also not getting too involved in other things, especially when the United States has a well-documented history of fucking shit up. But W's in the chat to Melvin for the $5 super chat. Swan, hush the winds of chaos in one swipe. Well done. Always W, Swan. Guys, make sure you're following Swan. And let's get Swan over 1,000 coins if she's not already. Y'all are disrespectful. Let's get Erica up to 3,000 coins and beyond. W's in the chat to... sorry, I'm making sure I'm doing a better job. Oh! W Penny. W Penny for the diamond gun.
Much.
Let's
That
go,
was so
Penny.
cool.
That was dope.
we have to make a distinction between the NATO.
We'll get to that distinction. I'm making sure I'm not reading your names out. Okay, this one. So I'm just gonna say AM for the $25 Cash App. Thank you for always taking these fools to task. I'm just an educator. I do my best. And shout out to Erica and Swan as well. W's in the chat to you. Thank you so much. And big W's in the chat. Big W's in the chat. I need to see at least 50 W's in the chat on both platforms. Every fucking one of you. To Melanie for the $50 Venmo. Guess is the worst at threading the needle. He also doesn't know how to play chess. You know what? I really didn't want to go back to that chess example. I really didn't. But that shit kind of offended me. I ain't gonna cap. That shit kind of offended me. That shit was crazy. W's in the chat to you. Thank you so much, Melanie. I appreciate your support. Guys, please make sure we take care of Swan and Erica while they're here as well. Both of them have the links in the bio. And the best way to support my platform is going to be the links in the bio. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo. Hector Talks with 2 R's and Cash App and Venmo. PayPal, Hector Pal with 2 O's and 2 R's. If you're over on the Tube side, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. Can we get the likes up to 250K? 637 of you. We're over the 2-hour mark. Let's get the likes up, guys. 250K. Send your daily heart meets if you haven't already. Obviously, hit that follow button in the top left corner. And there's something I'm forgetting. There's something big I'm forgetting. Oh, those of you in the Discord, those of you who want to join the Discord, the link's in the bio. Remember, movie night is tomorrow. We'll be watching Tropic Thunder. Movie night is tomorrow. That is scheduled in the Discord. Make sure you tune in for that. Back to you, my guy. Last point I want to make really quickly on the agriculture before he responds. If you really want to have a serious conversation about bringing down the cost of groceries, specifically in the produce department, then we need, I keep forgetting to have people on the line. Then we need to also have a serious conversation about not demonizing migrants who are working in those fields, who are in those industries, who in some cases are even the farmers, legal farmers of our food, and they're being wrongfully detained and deported. I have a video here I'm going to play for you guys in a bit of a guy, a citizen here in the United States, born in the United States and everything. He has a thick accent, and this man was detained 3 fucking times, was almost deported, even though he showed them his real ID every single time. Every single time.
I just want to say thank you. It's okay. I want to say thank you, Amber, for the 25 over on Venmo for not suffering these fools. Never have, never will. Thank you, friend.
Big WCU. You can respond, Basil.
So everything that I'm talking about is based on game theory. I'm a student of game theory and grand strategy. Okay, so these are how states are formed and how they're operated and powers maintained in these states. And when I mean states, like a kingdom or a nation state, like the United States is a nation state. It's created by people. It has operation. It has ways to maintain its state apparatus. You see what I'm saying? So what they've done in game theory is they kind of codified this game of nations and created nations as players, and then they can predict pretty accurately how things are going to play out if it holds true. If each nation does what it's supposed to do, and that's operate in its best interest, then these predictable outcomes are usually come true if that's true. That's the same way computers calculate chess moves and know how the outcomes of games are going to happen, because it's a set rules of chess. Chess is a military strategy game. It's basically a board game based on military strategy, and it has certain moves that are
yeah, but
right.
The thing
Erica, let me finish this, and I'll shut up. So when you look at how decisions are made, what factors that each state has to consider in order to act in its best interest, you can come to these different conclusions pretty accurately, but it's not 100%. So everything I'm saying is based on that viewpoint. And this is why nobody understands what I'm saying. I'm talking about nation state activity. I'm not talking about individual people and morality and what's moral and right. I'm talking about they're actually playing a game. These nations are playing a game.
You're repeating yourself now, friend.
But I'm just saying, that's what I want y'all to understand. That's what they're doing.
I know.
They're playing by certain rules that we're not playing by.
If I may have an opportunity to actually respond to what it is, so to engage in this conversation, right? The main thing about game theory, right, is that you have to deal with rational decision makers, right? What would be rational, all right, about sending troops, all right, soldiers into an unprotected area, then not warning them that you were about to start a fucking war. What would be rational about doing that? Because that's what happened in Kuwait. All right, that's what happened in Kuwait. It's what happened in Kuwait, and that's why we had 6 soldiers die in a triple wide trailer, and they burnt to death, and 20 others were injured because Hegseth sent them to an unprotected area, didn't tell them what was going on. Then the United States of America struck Iran, and Iran, in retaliation, in response to, struck the bases in Kuwait. We know that's what happened. What is rational? What is rational about striking a country in the middle of the Middle East where they're surrounded by allies and not tell our allies what's going on? What is rational about doing that, sir? There's nothing rational there. I promise you. That's why Kuwait also struck down, I believe it was 3 U.S. fighter jets. Because guess what? Oh, wow, Penny, thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you for the fighter
Penny
jets,
for the
Penny.
fighter jets, flying
Thank you.
jets.
What is rational about that? Nothing is. But that's why 3 of our fighter jets were struck down by friendly fire. Also, you can't say that they learned anything, all right? Especially when it comes to game theory, because what is rational about saying you're going to start something called Project Freedom, where you're going to lead ships out of the Strait of Hormuz, but you don't tell our allies. And when our allies find out from the friggin' news, they start making phone calls and sending emails and text messages and whatnot saying, hey, don't do that because it's going to cause them to attack us. Yeah, look at the reports. Look at what the Saudis said to President Trump. Go look at the reports. What is rational about any of this? What is rational about any of this?
We're operating.
We're dealing with irrational, illogical people who do not think these things through.
We're doing what's best for the country.
And Americans
not
are
what's
dying.
best for the United Nations, not what's best for Europe, not what's best for our allies.
Yeah, hold on for a second.
We're not doing what's best for our
Did you vote
allies.
for Trump? Caller, you're on the line. Did you vote for Trump? W's in the chat to Melvin for the $5 super chat. Hector, he's hearing to respond instead of listening to understand. So far gone, MAGA head. Yeah, I don't listen.
Yeah, why would I listen to y'all? We don't disagree. We're disagreeing.
All this talk about game theory is crazy when you're applying it to Donald Trump and his administration. Quite literally, the most incompetent administration that we've seen in the history of the United States. You say game theory. I understand game theory. Maybe not to the degree you do, but I understand the core, like the basics of game theory. But then you're putting it on this administration, on a department that didn't have the qualifications, didn't have the relevant experience. In fact, if we were to look at their past and the things that they've done, like such as Hegseth, they would have never been picked for their positions to begin with.
Donald Trump went to military boarding school in high school. He was a cadet in high school. Spent 4 years in cadet school.
Ain't no fucking way.
And then he went to Fordham, which is a Jesuit college. And if you know anything about the Jesuits, you'll understand how espionage works. Then he went to Wharton Business School and studied economics at Wharton Business School, one of the top business schools in the country.
Allow Swan to respond, please.
Go ahead.
You know, the bone spurs, did you ever hear about that?
Oh, no, I didn't.
What? Okay. All right, I'm going to get into that.
I don't know if I did or not. Tell me about the bone spurs.
I'm going to get into that in a second.
All right.
I do want to touch on this, though. Do you care about Black people in America?
I love Black people in America. I care about them.
Now, listen, hear me out.
My whole career is dedicated to revitalization of our community.
Okay. Hear me out.
Yeah, I'm listening.
Your bio says certified yapper, and I think that's so funny. But so collectively, as Black people, we've taken a financial loss that is in the billions right now because of decisions made by this administration. And what I've been telling people is that it's really frustrating because, right, we're now going to be raising our children because it's going to take time for us to bounce back from this. We haven't experienced the worst of all of this yet, right? But because of the high unemployment rates, right? Because of Iran, because of prices, going up for certain things, because of like budgets that have been cut, funding that's been cut, we're now going to be unfortunately raising our children in a society to where they're going to have less than what we had. And it was never supposed to be this way, right? I think what we're trying to do is just to bring you back to reality about our circumstances. Now, hear me out. We have been through a lot under this administration. I don't even think people have sat down to realize that we started off with plane crashes and now we're here, right? We watched ICE terrorize the streets. They're still doing it. We've experienced so much trauma in such a short amount of time as a country, right? But we're trying to like wake people up to what is actually happening. Otherwise, we're going to lose ourselves. Now, the bone spurs thing, that was Trump's excuse to get out of having to go to war. He used that as an excuse to not have to fight war.
Okay.
Did you know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Use it as an excuse. Did he have bone spurs or just use it as an excuse?
I don't know. He's white. He has money. He can find somebody to sign off.
But here's the deal. He went to military academy and graduated as a cadet. So he knows military strategy more than Kamala or Obama.
You think a fucking Hey, Basil, I appreciate this conversation. I really do.
What do you think you
have
learn
been
at
genuine,
military
you have been
school?
civil, but I'm going to drop you down before I crash out. I appreciate you, though.
Certified, yeah.
How you gonna talk about Trump in the military when he used bone spurs to get out of serving? How are you going to sit here and say, as a cadet, you know more about the military than Kamala Harris and other people who've been in war rooms with generals, deciding on plans of attacks? He was a cool black man. I didn't want to do it. Trump supporters request up in the box you with the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Your turn, try and fail.
Hector,
Your time, try and fail.
you have like feedback. It's like an echo.
I'll fix it. This guy's coming up.
Let's see if they'll load. Look at that. They're MAGA Wi-Fi. It's their forefathers telling them, not today. Yeah. Your internet sucks. I'm going to try and fail. You need to try again because you tried and you failed. Your connection sucks. Try again. Yeah, that was awful. Hey, Hector's working on that. It's almost 700 people up in here just on the TikToks alone. So let's make sure we're doing all of the good things. Let's keep tapping that screen, sharing the live. Let's repost. All right. Send it to like your MAGA loving cousin, uncle, brother. It could be a sister, a mom, a auntie even. You never know. All right. You know, Hector loves talking to MAGA women. So there's that part. So, hey, call him up. It could even be a cousin, a brunkle, a kunkle, or I don't know, your baby mama's twice removed fifth cousin stepmom. I don't know. Just share it. And also, let's get the likes up to 300,000 likes and take care of Hector's gift gallery. Oh, that's already taken care of. Take up his gift goals and show Swan love. And check out the links in the bio, y'all. Do all of the good things. God bless you.
All the good things. Thank you guys so much for being here. Quick little Linktree PSA. Make sure you go to the Linktree in my bio for all the ways to support the platform. And no, those ways aren't all financial. First and foremost, we want to spread what we do here across every single platform. I'm currently on Instagram, where I post the videos I put up here, and YouTube that we're dual streaming to right now. So make sure you're following me on all of those platforms at Hector Talks with 2 R's. Then you're going to want to join the Discord community. We are over 700 members strong. Like I said earlier, movie night is tomorrow. We'll be watching Tropic Thunder, and it's going to be a blast. Friendly reminder, if you're one of the more sensitive bunches, I guess, then don't tune in. Also, there's going to be the shop where we sell merchandise such as make 2 + 2 = 4 again, because that man kept trying to tell us it was 5. This man said, when you play in chess, you can't do nothing until the other person makes the other move. Well, duh, it's called turns, but you can still anticipate shit. And you can do this thing to ensure that this person doesn't do this thing to put you in this. Anyway, that shit was crazy. That shit was crazy when he got to talking about chess. I got a good laugh out of that. But yeah, join the Discord community. Of course, there's also going to be the links in the bio if you want to support the platform directly, whether it's Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo. Everything's accepted. Anything's appreciated. Whatever the fuck these people be saying. If you ain't got it like that, don't even worry about it. It's a tough economy right now.
Oh,
Fucking trust me,
shady.
I get it. I have to go get me my damn groceries tomorrow. I'm not happy about it. I'm not.
Why don't
happy
you get a
about
job?
This is
Get
my
a
job. Yeah.
This is a job? Oh, God. What are you going to do if TikTok goes under? Then your
Oh,
family and you are fucked.
ew.
I know you
Why are you
heard
not
me.
thinking long term?
I know you heard me mention
I know.
all
I'm
of the
hearing you say
other
you don't care
social
about
media.
your family
Yeah,
long
okay.
term.
Hey.
Fucking
Hey.
wild that you don't have
So I know you heard me mention all of the other social media
family,
platforms that I have. I know you heard
TikTok
me
is a
mention
job.
the
Say
shop
that
that I
again.
also have
Say
where I
that
sell
again. Say
merchandise.
TikTok is
I
my...
know you also
Say it
did
again.
not hear me say the
Say it
other
again.
mediums
Say it
of
again.
income that I would have.
TikTok is
I
my
am
job.
so
Say it
sorry that
again.
you are a
Say
sad little
TikTok is
boy
my
who
job.
only has one
You
source
are
of
so
income.
mad.
I quite literally
You don't have a
have
job. This is your job. I love it. This is
8.
sad. You don't have a job. Do you have an education? Are you done high school?
I do. Yeah.
Did you
What do
finish
you
high
have?
school? You do. Okay.
What
are
do you
trans
have,
women
buddy?
real
What's your
women?
job?
Are
Oh,
trans
wait,
women real women?
no.
He doesn't want to
You
answer
wanted to
that
go down the
question.
route of
He doesn't
income,
want to
and you
answer
wanted to
that.
go down the route
Are
of
trans
jobs.
women real women?
Hey, you could have came up here and you could have engaged in a conversation
women.
about Trump supporters who regret your vote, but instead you decided to come up here and pocket watch.
Working.
So I want to go down this
Trans
line
women
of
are real
you
women.
with pocket watching now. Please
real
tell
women.
me what your
Do you believe
education
trans
is
women are real
and what
women?
your job is.
And tell us if
Erica, do your thing.
trans women are real women. They are. They're mentally ill with no job. Yeah. Okay. We're gonna let her crash out because this woman has no job. We're gonna let this woman with no job crash out. While this man has no job, has no way to take care of his family. Wild. Get a job. You have no job, man. This is how you act. This is a job to you. They say TikTok is their job. They have family to take care of, and they can't.
Shut up. Don't stop doing that.
Oh my god, I thought that was a recording.
No, it was me. I do that shit. I'm tired of them, man. That's all they ever do. Trans people. It's like, shush up. Like, I'm serious. Every single time, Swan. I'm not kidding you. Like, I'm sick of it.
She's dead serious. She's been doing that every single time they bring up trans people. Trump supporters request up in the box to you the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. The fact that this guy's been watching this live the entire time only came up to say, A, the last guest was cooking, and try to pivot to something else, and B, talk about me making money off this platform and all the other ones is fucking pathetic. You guys are have you lost all your arguments? You can't talk about the economy. You can't talk about immigration. You can't talk about healthcare. You can't talk about education. The best you guys have is trans people, Trump being a man. That one's the funniest thing to me. You guys actually think Trump represents masculinity. And I don't know, what's the other one? The Keystone Pipeline. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris step her way to the top. Get some better fucking arguments, my guy. Jeebus. And unfortunately, he's the only one in the request. You had 2 opportunities to engage in a conversation. I'm not wasting any more time with you. Guys, keep double tapping the screen. Let's get the likes up. Let's get the likes up to 300K and beyond. Also, make sure that you follow me and send your daily heart me's in the top left corner. 90 more of the dolphins, so clear those out as well. Share out the live with your friends and family. You should also have an option to repost and add to your story. Do all of the things, y'all. Do all of the things. Those of you on the YouTube side, make sure you hit the like button on the stream, subscribe, turn on notification bells, and if you'd like to support the platform, of course, you may send a super chat or a super sticker. Audio issue on YouTube? God fucking damn it.
Yeah, it's staticky. I think he just recognized that it's staticky. Yeah, if you're over on the tube, make sure you call the number on your screen. All right, the number on your screen, the phone lines are open. So if you want to actually engage in conversation, because these are real conversations with real people, right? Yeah, call the number on your screen and you can talk to Hector. Chat. You guys are awesome. Over on the tube, you're awesome too. Make sure on the tube that you're liking and subscribing, right? Do that.
God bless you.
I don't know how many likes Hector has over there, but let's get him over 200. So let's do that. So get those likes up on the stream. I'm in the middle of a Vyvanse crash, guys, and I just want to take a nap, but I can't because I have to do stuff. I need to eat food. How do you get your own number? It's a Google number. You got to get a Google number. That's all.
I think I fixed the issue on YouTube. I need to check TikTok. How do I sound on TikTok?
Staticky.
Still? Okay.
Yeah.
Trump supporters request up in the box to the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Katrina, did you vote for Trump? Katrina, did you vote for Trump?
Oh, that was an accident.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Give me a second. I'm trying to fix this thing. You sound fine to me. You said it's still staticky, right, Erica?
Yes, sir, it is.
Okay.
That's how it sounds on the panel.
Let me.
Oh, thank you, Swan.
Let me see. The things being thingy. It happens for some reason when people call in. It'll do a quick little jumble up. I'm gonna see if I can fix it, and then I'm gonna play that video for you guys. 3 times this man was detained. 3
God bless you.
times they detained this man. 3 times he showed his real ID. 3 times they didn't care. I also want to talk about the fiscal irresponsibility of money that we're going to have to pay people in all the lawsuits because we keep violating the law, or the way that we are quite literally not making American civilians safer because we keep going after innocent people versus the actual fucking criminals. Shit is not good. It's not good at all.
Oh, you messing with me right now, ain't you? What was that? Swan, did you hear that?
Yeah, I saw it on the bar. I'm changing.
Finally gonna be abducted by aliens. I've been waiting for that day.
God bless you.
Ooh, thank you, Shy Sound, for the star map Polaris. I'm missing a couple gifts here. I apologize. Thank you for the bubbly kiss. Thank you guys for the gifts. Thank you guys for the gifts. I'm just trying to fix this audio. I don't know what that did. Am I still staticky? Chat, put a 1 in the chat if I'm still staticky. Put a 2 in the chat if I'm not. Put a 1 in the chat if I'm still staticky. Put a 2 in the chat if I'm not.
So the chat says that they don't really hear staticky. The static, I think it's just on
Just
the panel.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll do what I can about
If
that.
it's just a panel, then I'm fine. It's cool.
Okay.
I don't want you to have to mess up anything.
Yeah, it's random, and I didn't do a restart today on my computer. Well, whoever said 6-7, I should ban you. Okay, YouTube is good. Okay, everyone's good but the panel. Oopsies. I hope it's not too bad, at least. All right, let me show you guys this video, bro. While we're waiting on the Trump supporters to grow some testicular fortitude. This always happens, Erica. You cook someone really good, and then everyone else goes, "No, I don't want that smoke."
Yeah.
Damn crazy.
We got to stop doing that.
We got to be like, we just got to be nicer, right? When they say stuff, we just got to be like, "Well, what do you mean by that? Why do you feel that way?" Yeah. Yeah. All right, let me find this. I think it was on X I saw it. Yes.
So,
Rio
Hector,
Garcia.
what I'm going to do is I'm going to look into the mic screen. It's the thing that you put on the it's like the mic, the little thing you put in front of it. It actually stops the it stops the mic popping, and also it kind of cuts down on the it also cuts down on the mouth noises. But the mouth noises thing is a both of us thing now, because that one day I basically turned my own mic off because I couldn't take it no more. Because I was like, why I keep making all this noise? A pop filter. Thank you, Wabus.
Yes, thank you. Paulie,
Hey,
did you vote for
guys,
Trump?
TikTok is my job and trans women are real women again.
Oh, that's obsession, bro.
Did you say TikTok is my job and trans women are real women again?
Bro, you can't even afford a good phone service.
Your signal hates you.
You're speaking to me from an iPhone 2.5. What are we doing?
The beta version at that.
What are we doing? What are we doing? Charlie Kirk's job was YouTube. I'm just going down your line of logic. His job was YouTube. Now what? The fuck? Alright, let me play you guys this video. You guys are embarrassing, bro. This bro's out here in fucking bumfuck, I don't know, Tennessee. On his Nokia 2. Trying to talk to me about what my job is. Oh, wee! Alright, let's play this video, bro. Let's play this video, bro. You guys are funny. Thank you so much, Penny. Big W to you, Penny. Thank you so much for the media shower. I appreciate you. Let's go, Penny. Oh, 2! Thank you so much, Penny, for the 2 meteor, excuse me, showers. Big W to you, Penny. Thank you so much, Penny. I appreciate your support. I'm gonna need to see all the W's in the chat for Penny. Penny has a protected status over here. Nobody comes for Penny for the next 2 days. Don't come for Penny for the next 2 days. You'll experience the wrath of Hectatarchs. Hecatrak. All right. Here's the video, y'all. Where is the...
Leo Garcia Venegas was just detained by immigration agents for the 3rd time in less than a year. Leo is a U.S. citizen. He was born in America and lives in Alabama. ICE officers followed Leo home on Saturday. As soon as the officers approached, Leo said he was a citizen and showed his real ID, which only citizens and lawful residents can get. But instead of checking that ID and letting Leo go, the agents immediately ripped Leo out of the car, tackled him, and put him in handcuffs and shackles around his legs. No questions asked. Leo was locked in the back of a squad car. Agents interrogated him and searched his car. They found nothing, and Leo was eventually released. But this was the 3rd time that Leo, an American citizen, was detained in the last year. Each time, Leo immediately showed the officers his real ID.
I show my papers. No. I don't see anything. I see anything.
But DHS has a policy of ignoring real IDs. This week, we have a hearing in Leo's case. We're asking a federal judge to put a stop to warrantless raids and suspicionless detentions, and to require officers to immediately let people go when they present a real ID. These prolonged detentions keep happening to Leo. They are unconstitutional, but we're working to put a stop to them.
Unfortunately, Leo's case is one of many. I'm not sure if they've been that aggressive in terms of the amount of times one person has been detained over and over. 3 is the most I know of so far. But his case is one of many. I remember speaking to a Trump supporter, and this man said with his full chest, there is no reason whatsoever why you should have been born and raised in the United States and A, have a strong accent, a thick accent, or B, not know a lick of English. Now, while I can say somewhat with the second thing that it would benefit that person to know some English, it's not a fucking requirement, especially if you're in certain places, in Texas and California, wherever, where every single place for the most part has someone who speaks both languages. It's easy. It's simple. You call that person over. You just call them over to interact. I don't know. I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. With that being said, this is Trump's America. This is Trump's America. I was born in Texas and I have an accent. I'm bilingual, but I can't help having an accent. That's precisely the point. Thank you, Gucci. Thank you all for the dolphins. I appreciate you. Why is my thing not going off? The thing's glitching. Appreciate you guys. It's a good thing we don't get it. Yeah, that's true. That's actually a really good point. There are certain things in life I don't ever want to get. That's one of them. I can put myself in their shoes in terms of how they think and why they draw these conclusions. I'll never understand it because there's no sense to be made of it, but I can see it. And it's basically only having these many puzzle pieces and trying to force them together versus actually trying to paint a full picture of the average issue they scream and cry about caring. Scream and cry of caring about. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Any case, Trump supporters request up in the box you the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. You know what would be fucking amazing if we got Swan and Erica to 10,000 coins. I love on this platform, for the most part, you'll have your days where you guys take care of black women. That would be an exceptional feat today. If you are a Trump supporter who regrets their vote, this live is for you, a safe space, if you will, to come up here and express exactly what did you win on the MAGA plantation, what exactly made you more and more dissatisfied with the actions or rhetoric or otherwise of this administration. Thank you so much, Mandy. And if you're a Trump supporter who does not regret their vote, you think he's doing an exceptional job and the world is better off for it, you may request up in the box as well, and I can give you several reasons as to why you are full of it. Oh, that person dropped. Oopsies. Also, let's get the likes over 300,000. In 10 minutes, we'll be at the 3-hour mark, so let's make sure we get the likes up. Do all the good things. When are you going live, Erica?
I'm about to eat food. I think I'll go live around 5:30 my time, so 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. And I promise y'all, I'm only going live because I said I would yesterday, so we can do the raffle that Phil took care of, the waffle. Right, and so that's shout out to Penny. Drop some hearts in the chat for Penny. But yeah, so I'll probably do an hour of calls and then do the waffle and then take a nap. I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. Seriously. Yeah, because you can't say the other word, I guess. I don't know. I don't want your live to get in trouble. So I'm giving away a hat and a shirt from the EricaEffect.com. Yeah. Because Phil sent 100 yesterday for everybody to win the whatchamacallit. What's the whatchamacallit? The spelling bee, the adult spelling bee. And I said no. And he said, well, just use it as to give away something from the website. So I said, yeah.
I'm sorry. Hold on, Erica.
Yes.
Auto fare for 341. You can't be blocked if you're spamming my chat. That would be the opposite of you being blocked. Mentally not strong. Erica is racist. He blocked me on everything else. Again, he's still here. LOL. Scared. He knows zero history. Thinks slaves built this country. LOL. The call-in number is open. It is working. 737-295-5321. Don't be a bitch. Call the line.
Why do people keep calling me racist?
There you go. I just helped you out. Now you can express your First Amendment right to speech in the call-in line. You can't talk with a keyboard, right? Do the line. There you go. That's a great question. That's a great question, Erica. I'm tired of telling these people, Erica, that I can't be racist. I'm tired of telling them that I cannot be racist. I don't know when they're going to get it. I can't be racist. You know why I can't be racist, Erica? You want to know?
Why?
I can't be racist. Look at Lex down there. I like Lex. Lex is cool, people. Lex is white. I can't be racist.
Well, I have white cabinets, so there's that.
Bam. I can't be racist. I make sure that I get white Bounty paper towel. I can't be racist. The back of my phone is white. What are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I can't be racist. My car is white.
See that?
Boom.
See that? And I bet you keep it clean too. Nice and perky white. No dirt.
Yes. Its name is Diamond.
See what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Y'all gotta update how you do this, man.
My shoelaces are white. My eyes are white. Let me see. The teeth are white.
My teeth are white. I'm not. I need to get them whiter. Yeah, I can get them whiter, especially the side there.
That is funny.
Can't be racist. One of your mods is right. Ruth is white. I can't be racist. Ruth is white. What are we doing?
Oh, I do. I sell white mugs also. I have white mugs on my website.
Exactly. Hey, you know what? We're gonna put this to rest once and for all. We're gonna put this for rest once and for all. Give me a second. Let me pull this up for you, bro. Let me pull this up for y'all, bro. We're gonna put this to rest. I'm tired of y'all playing in my face. I'm sick of it. Where's the screen? Here we go. Here's the screen. I ain't shit for this, I ain't gonna lie. Where's the screen? Guys, I cannot be racist. And you wanna know why I can't be racist? I got white merch. All of my merch has a white option. That's correct. Look, I got the white 6,000% hat. I got the white shorts. We got the white top tees. Look, we got the Kamala would never. No, this is the 6,000% one. This is the 6,000% line. We got all these things available in white. And you think it's just this one? Check this out. Kamala would never. We got white for these too. We got white for all of that. But the shorts, we ain't got no white bucket hat. I'm working on it. But we got the top, the tee. How the fuck can I be racist when I give you guys all of these white options? And I give you discount codes. We all win for 10% off your entire white order. I'm wearing a white t-shirt right now. HectorShops.com with 2 R's. All right, I need a Trump supporter to talk to because I'm talking shit now. W non-racist live. Exactly. W non-racist live. Ain't no other live like it. None. No other live like it. Absolutely none. Also, big W's to you guys for getting both of them over 10,000 coins. I greatly appreciate it. Trump supporters request up in the box. You are the demographic of people I'd like to have a conversation with. If you're over on the tube side, you can call the number on screen, 737-295-5321. Zola, I know MAGA is stupid. We do not tolerate that word. Thank you, mods, for getting him. We do not tolerate that word. Make sure you guys get the likes up on the YouTube stream. We're about to hit 300,000. You're doing a great job here. I don't want to have to do a restart yet. We do have some brown in there, Joey. We do have some brown lines of merch. See, if you went to the shop, you would have seen it. But you
Joey, I just want to let everyone know. Can you hear me, Hector?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got the AirPod on that works. I just want to let everyone know that I have a problem, and no, I do not know how to solve it. But I am working on my 7th pair of AirPods in the span of about 3 years. No, I have not purchased them on myself. I have like really nice friends and also a really cool mom. But at the same time, I just want to say, why? Seriously, why?
7 pair though?
Yes.
You put some air tags on that shit.
Why? No, it's not. I don't lose the entirety of the AirPods. I lose like one, and it's always the right one. It's always the right ear. I kid you not. It's always.
Funny enough, 3 years ago, this was a present to myself. If you guys know this company, you know what the fuck is up. These are Bang & Olufsen. Bang & fucking Olufsen earbuds, okay? This is premium shit. Bought this as a gift to myself. I've had this for very long. Unfortunately, in fact, I'm gonna show y'all. The thing separated and it's now doing that. So I have to either reseal it or better get a new pair because these ones are old. But I pulled one out the other day and I can't tell you where the fuck I put it. To replace this is $178 for one of these. So I'm just going to get a new pair because Jesus Christ.
But like, I'm not losing the whole thing, just one. Like the last one that I lost, what had happened was I didn't know where it was. I didn't know because I fall asleep with them on. That's the problem. So I think I'm gonna stop falling asleep with them on. But like the majority of my pajamas have like pockets, or also my pajamas are also kind of too big because of like losing weight and stuff, right? And so like the last time I guess it like got tangled in the pajamas and I just like woke up and I took Bubba to school. Listen, I work from home. All right. I took Bubba to school. All right. And I guess it fell out of the pajamas, Hector, because what had happened was when I went into the garage, right, one time, I looked down and I saw something white out of my peripheral. And I was like, is that my AirPod? And it was my AirPod. And guess what had happened to it?
What?
I had rolled over it.
Shit.
Yeah. Not with a bicycle, but with the SUV tire, I rolled over it. Nothing major. Good God.
See, here's the thing. I would avoid all of these problems if I bought the ones with like the hook that goes around your ear. That would solve
Yeah.
90% of my problems. But I don't like those ones.
I don't like those either. And I don't like having the cords because the cords get in the way.
Yeah.
So this is a trap. I blame Apple for my irresponsibility. So there's that part.
The only corded stuff I use is like right here at this desk. I just use wire to simplify the process. But other than that, I am a big wireless fan.
Ashley is here. You ever felt like someone judging you and you couldn't quite put your finger on it, and then boom, you look, and then boom, there's a person you know is judging you around? That's how I just felt. I really felt like it was someone judging me, and then I look, and there she goes.
Not the Ashley slander. Ashley, what'd you do to Erica, bro? What did you do? I'm curious. Guys, make sure you're following the backup. Follow the backup account. One of these days, they're going to hit me with one hell of a flag on this one. So always make sure you're following the backup for when that happens. That is the account that we use to go live as well. So make sure you're following the backup account. Hector Talks Reloaded with 2 R's. Left in my pocket and put in washing machine. I just stored 2 of mine in the washing machine.
I've done that before.
Yeah. And them shits cost too much, man.
They do. I've dropped 2 in the shower before.
Why do you have them on in the shower?
Because I be listening to stuff in the shower. I didn't want to bring my phone in there, so I just listened to it in the shower. I do have a Bluetooth speaker. I just got to charge it.
Your phone's waterproof, though.
Is it waterproof or water resistant?
Excuse me, water resistant.
Just saying.
Also, how you...
Just saying. I'm black and I'm a woman and I have like my hair done most of the time, so I'm not getting my hair wet. Thank you very much. And then you just take it out when you want to like wash your face and stuff. But I've also learned how to wash my face with the AirPod in, so there's that part too.
I have a little stand. I have a little thing in the thing that I put my phone in when I'm in the shower. Because yeah, I'll be listening in the shower too, but with a whole earbud in is crazy.
I can't buy refurbished AirPods because in my mind it's been in somebody else's ear.
Oh no, I refuse. I've done it once and it made me uncomfortable and then it was buggy on Amazon, so I just returned it. If you're getting refurbished stuff specifically off of Amazon, their refurbishing team they're not very secure. I went through a couple rounds initially just to reduce the cost of this pair that I have. They don't always fix them up to as good as they should. You can return it easily. They'll send you another pair, but sometimes you can go to 2, 3, 4 pairs before you finally get a functioning one. It's just fucking annoying. Sometimes you get lucky. You get a good one and it works perfectly. I just refuse. And like I said, it's earbuds, so it's like, yes, this has been in someone else's ear. It's going to fuck with me.
I got a message Taylor. That's what I have to do. I have to message Taylor. I keep forgetting. Okay. Wait, did Taylor I got to message Taylor. Okay.
I see 2 people in the request. Y'all don't look like Trump supporters. And I will drop you down automatically if you ain't. Only Trump supporters get in the request, guys. Only Trump supporters get in the request. We are just looking to have some chats with the opposing side. Y'all know me. I don't do echo chamber lives, okay? So make sure you are a Trump supporter in the box. Pixie, did you vote for Trump? Pixie, did you vote for Trump? Pixie did not mean to come up. That's okay, Pixie. That's okay. I think she butter dialed you. I don't know how one does that. I'm fucking with you. Let's go over the news, guys. let's go over the news. Actually, before we go over the news, first and foremost, as content creators or anyone in general in the political side of this shit, we tend to forget a lot of things because there's just so much. Erica talks about this all the time, the way they're flooding the zone. It's hard to retain all of this information. But there are certain key things that I don't think we should ever forget. And this is one of them. This right here is one of them, okay? I don't think we should ever let Trump supporters and ourselves forget about this weird shit right here.
What is this? Is this real?
Yes. This is
What
in
the fudge?
2024.
Is that his son?
Yes.
Oh my God.
So, if we're to talk about things like Biden allegedly showering with his daughter and being written in this diary that was fake and falsified by Project Veritas, and the lady who forged it and sold it off to them is serving time, if we're to talk about that, no problem. Sure. Let's keep the same energy because this shit looks like a porno scene. This shit looks like a porno scene. I can't think of a single good reason why he had to be up on her like this, with her hands up on his knees like that, or up his thighs like that, to take this shot. There was no reason whatsoever why you had to do this. And to the
He was
person,
18 in this picture, right?
if I'm not mistaken, I think so.
Yikes.
Because, like, why are you on her lap? And then to the person who took this photo because you thought this shit was cute or whatever, I don't know, man. It's kind of weird. It's kind of freaking weird. I'm just saying.
Ain't gonna hold you. Boy moms are weird as fuck. And there's a difference between having sons and being a boy mom. I just want people to understand that. If you know, you know.
That part.
I Swan has sons. I have a son. Boy moms are weird as fuck.
Extremely. Like, I don't know how anyone can defend that. Also, friendly reminder that there's no such thing as a Christian Trump supporter. Let me put this up on the screen for y'all. There is no such thing as a Christian Trump supporter, because Christian Trump supporters are literally out here worshiping golden calves. Those are my people who know the scriptures. If you know the scriptures, then you know the passages. You know how the people were punished when they went and found their own idol. I don't believe in that shit anymore. But you know, if you know the scriptures. And now they're out here doing shit like this. YouTube, I will just put the link in the chat for you guys. I'm not about to add that over to the chat. There you go. There's your link, YouTube. You can do it there.
I want to make sure everyone can hear. Okay, sir.
Hello, everybody. I want to thank you so much for being there today, and more importantly, for what you did. The statue is beautiful. You know, I saw it during the weekend. We had a big PGA tournament with a great champion, and all great champions, actually, but it was a great tournament, and I got to look at it very closely, and it's incredible. And I just want to thank you. I know it was done from love, and I want to thank Mark Burns, a pastor. He's a good pastor. He's a good man. I've known him a long time. He's been with me from the beginning, right from the beginning. Maybe about 2 days later, right? 2 days. But
Right, Mr. President.
he was right at the beginning, and I appreciate it, Mark. You're great, and just really a good person. And I want to thank everybody there. I don't know, here there's a good crowd of people, but I want to thank you all, and I won't forget it. And we love you all, and the country's doing great, and Iran is not doing good because of us. They are not doing well at all, and good things are happening, and I just want to really give you my love, and I wish I could be there where we want to make sure everything's going perfect on the war front. So I figure you can understand that, but we'll see you all around. I just want to, again, it's everybody is taking pictures of it. Everybody is, my people told me that It's unbelievable. All day long they're taking pictures. They stand up next to it and they have their picture taken.
Does this ramble? Holy shit! Shut up! Just rambles on and on and on. Then you guys want to talk to us about word salads. He's the king of word salads. He loves to ramble and make no sense. You guys ever known that person who says in 100 words what he can say in 24? You guys know that person? Olga, did you vote for Trump? All good, Olga. All good, all good. You guys know that person where it's like, hey, how's your day going? It's pretty good. How about yours? Right? I try to keep it streamlined unless I have additional things. No, that's not the best example. Hold on. Let me give a better example. All right, here we go. Let me give a better example. Hey, how do I get to your shop, hectortalks.com with 2 R's? Right? How do I get to your shop? Check this out. This is how you should say it. So those of you who are watching, you can check out the link in the bio, and it's going to take you directly to the shop. There's a part there that says the shop. It'll take you straight there. Right? That's the quickest way to go. Now, this is Trump. How do you get to hectorshops.com with 2 R's? Well, you know, it's the greatest shop. It's the greatest shop you've ever seen. There's no other shop like it. I tell you, there's no other shop. We're doing bigger, better shops. Shops like no one has ever seen before. So what you're going to do, maybe you have a preference for a browser. Maybe it's Google Chrome. Maybe it's Safari. I know some people use Firefox. They're all liberal. They're all terrible. We're coming up with a new site. It's called Trump Chrome. It's called Trump Chrome because it's for me and it's all in Chrome. And then you go to trumpchrome.com. And then once you get to trumpchrome.com, there's the search engine where you can type in, what did they call that one? Hector shops. One of the words, he does all the things. And then you type it in, and it's a few letters. How many letters is it? What is it 13? Well, no, hold on, let me count here. H for 1, E for 2. What's the next thing in Hector? C, of course, it's a C. C for 3, T for 4, O for 5, and 2 R's for 8. Nope, that's 7. The liberals are going to clip that. And then shops is 5, so that makes 12. And then .com, that's 4 characters. So that makes it 16 characters, just how I like my women, 16. And then you search it in, and then you're at the glorious shop of hectorshops.com with 2 R's. That's Trump.
Too succinct, too concise. Gotta try again. Redo.
That's Trump, bro. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. Can you imagine, like, dying and you gotta go in, like, a cabinet to get a certain shot to shoot in the person's chest or whatever to save them really quickly till they get to the hospital? Hey, where do I find the shot? So, well, what you gonna do? Motherfucker, just give me the information. Just give me the information. I can't stand that shit. Now I'm gonna talk shit a little bit. You guys remember when, no, I'm not going to do that. Let's just say I had a recent experience where I needed some help troubleshooting, okay? And I went to ChatGPT to help. ChatGPT was full of it. I went to another person. He was very great help, but sometimes it was like too many words. And then we had Mia come up, and Mia was just like, bam, bam, bam. But even in Mia's explanation, I'm not talking shit about Mia, I love Mia. Even in Mia's explanation, I was just like, Mia, I just need to copy and paste your settings. I try to keep things as fast as possible, especially when I'm frustrated. I can get easily frustrated at certain moments. I just try to streamline shit because I don't have time to waste, and it's a tough world out here. I don't know. It's a thing for me. People who say shit with like 600 words that they can say in 100. I hate it with a passion. Hey mods, not so much on TikTok. It seems like the chat is full of people who agree with me here. But I've seen the people over on the YouTube side. Just mute all of them. You have my full permission. Mute every single one of them who is chirping in the box and not calling the number on screen. Because I don't know why you got all this energy to scream and cry down there, and then you won't call in. You guys love to call me a liar. Tell me what I lied about. You guys love to say I'm deluded. Tell me what I'm deluded about. You guys love to say that I'm missing something. You can present that information to me. That is your job. That is the point of this live, right? To bridge between two political spectrums. That's the whole point. So all this keyboard warring shit doesn't work. Shut them all up. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Big WCL. Big W. They know the word deluded. You got a point. I got to stop using words they don't understand. I'll never forget this. I said, what did I say? Negate. I remember a few of my mods even at the time were saying that I was using too big words on my platform, which I vehemently disagree with. Guys, I think I do my best to speak pretty down to earth. I am not the most super intelligent person. So I try to talk to people in a way they can understand. Sometimes I may use bigger words, but I like to think I follow up with a reasonable explanation. But yeah, they said the word that I was using, negate. They said negate was too complicated for some people. And I was like, really? Really? Negate? Is negate too much? And then it's one of those things where if you don't know a word and you say, I don't know the word, I'm not going to beat down on you for not knowing the word. I'm just going to tell you what it means. Oh, you don't know what that means? It means that. So I'm going to use a simpler word. Belittle, minimize, reduce. There. One of those words you guys know. But yeah, they said I got to stop using the word negate, and I told them no. I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. Delulu, that's a crazy example right there. That's a crazy example. I see you down there. That's a crazy example. Sometimes you can use context clues. That's guys, that's been a large portion of my life. I'm not going to lie. Even up to now. There's still certain conversations I'm in where certain words are being used, and I'm just like, we use this word after saying this thing, so it either means this or this. I think everyone does that, but I think I have to do it a lot more than the average person. Because I don't really know what the hell people are talking about. I be feeling in the
Oh, I think what I'm gonna do is I want to do maybe before my birthday, if I can get you guys together on that Monday or maybe the Sunday before Memorial Day weekend or Memorial Day, I should say. I'm gonna see if I can do a quote in quote, just like I shouldn't say in quote, but a quote celebrity adult spelling bee. Hector, you want to be on my spelling bee? Swan spelling bee. All right, I'm gonna try to get. I'm saying names too. Dan, Matt. I'm gonna get Liv.
Count me in.
Yes, let's go. Yes, adult spelling bee. Yes, 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 guys. Shauna too. But it's gonna be the creator. So Shauna's gonna be like, but I'm not a creator. Okay, she's gonna do the whole thing. I know her. So I am okay. So Swan and Hector already have your buy-in. So yay! All right, I gotta ask
I
Matt
love
and
how there's
ask
just a spelling.
Dan.
I never gave permission for this.
Yes, you did.
Just
You
go.
said yes. I saw it in your eyes. And Liv, I gotta get Livingston. All right. And let me see. Who else can I get? Who else do we want to see? Who else do we want to see on
See what
adult
I gotta do with it?
spelling bee?
You said yes with your
My birthday
eyes.
is May
That's crazy.
31st. May 31st. So who else do you all want to see? All right, because I'm pretty sure I can get Matt to do it, and I can get Dan. I got Swan, and I got Hector. Casso,
Get Queen.
get Queen. Okay, bet.
Ari
Hey
would cook all of
MJ.
us.
Oh Ari. Okay, Ari can come. Oh, facts. Okay, and Faisal. I'll get Joey.
Black Mermaid. Jaden.
I'll get Mermaid too. And Jaden. All right. So I guess I'll be doing 2 rounds, but I'm just gonna hold like an emo. Okay, I'm just gonna hold a celebrity. So I use quotes when I said celebrity adult spelling bee. I'll see if I can get y'all to do it. If y'all do it for real, I'd be so happy. I'd be so happy. And then you can do like your own what is it? I don't know. I guess you can either raise money for a charity or you can donate something. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. I think that'd be really, really cool. So I'll get to asking around. That'd be so much fun.
I have my people contact some people. See who can make an appearance.
Yeah, you're by contract required to be there.
Erica had been referencing this contract since
Yes, Jeff and Solid. Yes.
yes, May of last year. I have yet to see it. I ain't never seen this contract a day in my life.
You never seen the contract? It's okay. I signed it.
Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's all good. I signed it for you. Yeah, I got it in a nice, safe place. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man. Anywho's, y'all. I may call it. Should I call it? Should I call it? I feel
I
like I
ain't gonna
should call
hold
it.
you. I don't see why not, unless you do a restart. But do you want to do a restart? How long have you been on?
3 hours, 19 minutes, and 30 seconds.
3 hours. Oh, you already did your 3 hours.
I'm about to say
Are
three
you trying
hours
to do
is
four today?
typically. I only ever go over 3 hours if I have a reason to, and we've been dry for over 30
Yeah.
minutes. And then we have 400 people here. We can send that to some other creator who could use the views and shit.
Boom. There you go.
Let me see who's live. Who do I like today? You know what we haven't done in a hot minute? A mermaid raid. And mermaid looking. Mermaid look. Yeah, we raid mermaid, bro.
Matt, come here, Matt. Matt, request up. I saw you. You have to request up now.
Matt, you're contractually obligated to request that.
Be right back.
Y'all stick around, bro. We about to do a mermaid raid. Those of you on YouTube, I'm gonna find out because I don't think I have mermaid. Mermaid doesn't do a stream, to my knowledge, so I'll send you guys somewhere else. Let's see here. Excuse me. If you see Matt in the request, let him up while I'm doing this, please, mods. Thank you so much. Let's see. Let's see. Y'all, I think it's about that time.
Shauna!
I think it's about that time I take a break.
They say mermaid is going off.
Going off?
Yeah.
Like logging off? Hold on.
Yeah, she's like, yeah.
God damn it.
I was about to go check on the backup.
I'm in there now. Oh, wait, she gone.
Oh.
Damn!
Oh, Matt can't join because he is actually busy.
Busybody Matt. All good, Matt. Yeah, she gone, bro. Shit. All right. Who else? We can do. What is? I think Blue's playing games. Yeah, Blue's playing games. There is. Should we do Brett or Pickles? I'll let y'all decide. Should we do Brett or Pickles? Let me put up a poll for y'all. Two fellow Texans. There you go. Smiley face for Brett Cross. Frowny face for Pickles. Smiley face for Brett Cross. Brownie face for Brownie face. Sad face. Did I say brownie face twice? Frowny face, excuse me, for Pickles. Jesus Lord, Hector. Smiley face for Brett Cross. Frowny face for Pickles. It's been a while since I've gave Brett Cross some shit, but I also have to go get dinner. I also may get a boba today. I haven't had a boba in about 2 weeks. That's crazy. It looks like most of the people have decided. Y'all don't like Pickles? That's crazy. Pickles need the help too, guys. So Pickles' main account got a big fat ban. 70-something thousand followers gone. He is starting over on his Not Pickles account, and he has that up to 6,000. I would be hot. So I have been doing a lot of time. I have been spending a lot more time than when he's live, trying to boost it as much as I can because, listen. Obviously, like what we do cannot be nullified by just losing a big account, but it fucking hurts us, especially in the algorithm. Fucking hurts us in the algorithm. So
It does. It really sucks. Can I ask you a question?
Mm-hmm.
Should I go live? Cause like I'm not gonna hold you. I'm kind of tired, and I just want to like lay down and not have to host today. But I want to do the. Can I just do the thing tomorrow? But the people like, you said you were gonna do it on Saturday. And I was like, yeah, but I'm human.
You asking the
Can
wrong I'm gonna listen. I'll be saying, yeah, I'm gonna be live at this time. I'm gonna be this. I'm gonna be that. And then people be texting me, bothering me. Hey, you said this time. I'll be telling them, fuck you. I don't feel like it. you asking the wrong person. I am quick to say, fuck y'all. Y'all.
okay, because
Y'all have us like 6 days out of the week. We be doing this shit. 6 days. We can take a break. We can take a break.
like I want to. I don't have the energy. I don't have the energy to host. Like doing this is easy because I can shut up at any time. But like I don't have the energy
That's how it was for
to
me
actually host.
Thursday night. Thursday night when I came up set up on your panel, I just didn't happen in me. I'm like, if I go start a live right now, I'm gonna miss some things. I'm gonna be tripping over my words. I'm gonna crash out because I'm not mentally prepared to listen to all the stupid shit and the bigotry.
I don't feel like crashing, bro.
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm tired of crashing. It's nice. We went a whole day, a whole live without crashing. That shit is
Yeah,
awesome.
I don't feel like crashing, and I know I'm gonna crash because it's gonna be some weird dude that calls in and just says something like extremely out of pocket. I'm like, come on, bro, and the chat gonna get tired of me hanging up on people.
And it's gonna
Yeah,
be
I'm not doing it.
unwarranted. It's gonna be random and just out left fucking field.
Yeah,
So my advice,
I'll do it tomorrow.
if you ain't up for it
I'll do it tomorrow.
and it's gonna affect the quality, fuck them. Fuck them. I'm moving around too much shit. I keep forgetting you can lock stuff.
Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow.
Lock stuff so it don't move. Hold on. Where's the lock one on this one? Okay. Alrighty. So y'all voted. Go wherever you want to, obviously, and I would really love those of you that go support Pickles if you prefer Pickles or whatever the fuck. But the chat has decided we are going to do a Brett Cross raid. Shout out to one of them are gone, but the top 10 gifters of the live, and that was going to be Penny. Penny's gone, but I know she was number one. Now it's Gucci. Gucci, all right. Swan, April, Erica, Chi, Troy,
Watch your
Megs,
mouth. Gucci's the best.
Jade,
Gooch!
Miss Edwards, and I hope I'm saying this right, Jables or Jibbles. I don't know anymore. And everyone under you. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for your super chats, your donations to the links, your likes, your shares, your comments, your subscriptions, your heart me's. All of that is super important. The engagement was pretty all right today. The engagement was pretty all right today compared to the last couple of days. Y'all was slow on the tap, so I don't like that. But YouTube, I don't have anyone to send you to. None of my mutuals that I can raid. So go wherever. I see Parker's live, so go to Parker's live. Say Hector raid by all means. He won't notice it. His chat goes crazy. But yeah, go in there and say Hector raid. I appreciate every last one of you. Shout out to some of the hardest working mods on the platform. Those of you on the YouTube side watching this.